Good morning, Rabbit Freaks. Alexiot's here. It's Thursday, and normally I do a Thursday think tank, and maybe this is going to be kind of like a Thursday think tank, but today it's also actually kind of like just a reaction stream because we had Team Canada play against Germany yesterday, and Canada lost by 5 points, 86 to 81 yesterday. It was a good game, though. I'm not going to lie. And honestly, there's a lot of optimism and good signs from Team Canada in the first game against Germany. Some people will say, oh my gosh, you lost to Germany by 5. Horrible. Well, Jordi Fernandez did some interesting things in that game, and we shouldn't be worried because honestly, he was playing our third team against Germany's first team for the last 6 minutes of the game. And they were competing and they were actually coming back. We were down by 16 at the half. Well, after halftime, Team Canada came out and caused 3 straight turnovers on Germany, and we got that shrunk real quick. And then it was a whole competitive second half of that game yesterday. And for the most part, there was no SGA, no RJ, no Dylan Brooks, no Kelly Olynyk out there on the court in the second half of the game yesterday. So we were competing with Germany's top team with our bench. And not even just our bench, the guys at the end of the bench. We had the scrubs out there. Phil and Tom were playing at the end of the game, and they were the ones with, they did have Lou Dort out there with them and Nickel. And those two guys with the scrubs, and then like Trey Bell Haynes, they were the ones who were coming back on the number one team for Germany because Schroeder, Franz, and Mo and Daniel Tice, and Bonga, they were all out there playing at the end of the game. So it was really like our third string against their number one string, and we were almost about to beat them. We had it down to like 1 point at a time. We had it down at 3 points, but every time the sloppy play of Canada was what was shooting us in the foot. We didn't play well at all. In fact, there's so many things that Jordy can put on tape and watch to point out to these guys, and they could fix like right away. I mean, they did not shoot well at the free throw line. I wish I had a box score. We were trying really, really hard yesterday to find a box score for this game, but there is no box score on the internet anywhere to look at stats for this game. Isaac Campbell and I looked everywhere yesterday, and we could not find a box score for this game. It's ridiculous. I don't understand this. Why do people not think that people would be interested in two NBA caliber teams playing against each other? Even if it's a friendly, even if it doesn't matter, why they don't broadcast it on TV and then there's no box score after the game? What is this? This is crazy. Well, I did get some of the stats, so I kind of know some of what happened with some of the stats because we collected little bits here and there, but I couldn't find a direct box score. So anyway, in the first half, the Team Canada was horrible. They were absolutely dreadful. They started really bad. They couldn't score. They shot horrible in this game. They were horrible at the free throw line, missing a lot of free throws. I was just like, oh, this is embarrassing. The way they were shooting at the free throw line was embarrassing. There's a lot of really dumb travel calls. I felt like in the first half, the German officials in Berlin were very much favoring Germany in certain ways as far as with travel calls and like possession calls, who would get the ball and stuff. So that was really like interesting to me that it seemed like Germany was kind of getting some favors in the first half. There was a travel call in particular on Kelly Olynyk that I was like, come on now. And then I'd see some travels that they weren't calling too. So it was a little bit of a home cooking ref manipulation in the beginning of the game. But by the end of the game, there wasn't seem like there was too much funny stuff. Now, if they just executed just a little bit better, they would have won that game yesterday. Like, seriously, they just had to execute just a little bit better, shoot just a little bit better, make a few more free throws, box out a bit better. That was another problem. There's like Dennis Schroeder. All right, let's talk about our guy, Dennis. He was the star of the game. And should not be worried about him being hurt. We were talking about the Achilles yesterday and like, oh, it's not really a serious injury. It's just a nagging injury. Well, he didn't show any signs of being slowed down by his Achilles yesterday at all. He looked fantastic. He looked fantastic on both ends of the court. In fact, Dennis Schroeder shut down SGA yesterday. It was kind of fun to watch, actually. SGA was really having a hard time in this game. He struggled in the first half of the game. Now, in the second quarter, he scored 10 points. but really he didn't score a whole lot otherwise in this whole game. Dennis really blanketed him and really got in his face. And everything that SGA tried to shoot, Dennis was right there with a hand right there in his face, and he missed a lot. And then the other thing that was interesting about Dennis's game yesterday is he got 8 rebounds. And that's a sign of like we weren't boxing out. Team Canada was not finding their man. And there was a lot of second chance points, easy points. In fact, at the very end of the game, a killer, a dagger to finish the game for us. We're down by 3, and we need a 3 to tie. And there's only like 20 seconds to go. We miss the shot, and nobody boxes out Dennis. And Dennis runs up and gets the offensive rebound and puts it back to put 2 more points in for a 5-point lead for Germany with like now 10, 15 seconds to go. That was a really big play. And that was Dennis Schroeder, our Toronto Raptors point guard, running in there because nobody found him and boxed him out. He just ran right in there and laid it right back in. That's how they won the game, basically, Germany. Because we had a chance. We could have won that game. In some ways, Jordy did not value winning this game as much. If he really wanted to win this game, he would have played RJ and Dylan and those guys right up until the end of the game, but he didn't. It was very smart, actually. This was like the anti-Nick Nurse philosophy. It really was. It's like, I wonder if Nick had been here, if he would just rode the starters right till the end and they would have still lost, it would have felt bad. But when Jordy flipped it, he said, you know what, you guys are resting for the rest of the game. They had no problem with it because it's a friendly. It doesn't count. And in some ways, it's genius of Jordy Fernandez to play the third string in the crunch time, to give them that feeling and spirit. You know, the scrub guys have been playing for Team Canada for so long. Throw them a bone. Let them participate and make some meaningful minutes in a meaningful, well, not really meaningful game, but in a game where it's crunch time and it's late and they can be in that situation. You know, even if they fail, well, there's your out. We're playing our third string against your first string. And not only that, we may get a chance to play Germany on Sunday, like right away. Once again, a rematch right away Sunday morning. It's all going to depend on who wins and loses on Saturday. And it's either going to be Germany or China against Team Canada on Sunday. Now, the next game in this series for Team Canada and these friendlies in Germany is on Saturday morning, 9:45 a.m., y'all. They're playing New Zealand. And I am going to live stream it while I'm doing my stream here. I would be on the air anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Saturday Share the Love Club for Team Canada. And we're going to watch them play New Zealand. I'll have the stream link. And I'll be watching it, doing a live commentary during it. So that's going to be the stream content for Saturday morning. Since the game is already on at 9:45 in the morning, we might as well watch it while we're on the stream. So we're going to have a special Saturday Share the Love Club live reaction stream to Team Canada against Team New Zealand. So that'll be fun. That'll be very, very fun. And then I don't know what time the game will be on Sunday. If the game is at that time again in the morning, there may be a second live reaction stream to the Team Canada game also on Sunday. But if that game's later in the afternoon, like the one yesterday, then it won't be. If it's around 9, we'll do it for sure. So really good job by Team Canada in some ways. But in some ways, they have so much they can improve. They have a great film to really talk about where they were screwing up and stuff like that. Now, we'll talk more about this game. I have 3 stars, and I also want to talk about individuals on Team Canada and what they were doing out there also while we do the stream. But I want to check in with y'all in the comments real quick. First, let's see what's going on. Nameless is in first. Let's see what Nameless is saying. All right. Oh, wait. Let me get off the top chat and make sure I'm not missing any chats because of something. All right. That goof over there in his bat cave refers to Pascal as Pascal Siakam in all of his videos. Does that sound like a Raptors fan or a hater from when you were 12 years old? What is he calling him? He's calling him Pascal Siakam? Did that autocorrect something different? I don't care what that guy's doing over there. It's so dumb. And like whatever he's doing, I just don't care at this point. If he has animosity towards Pascal, he's not a Raptors fan, and he needs to just be ignored by real Raptors fans because he doesn't offer anything of value in a lot of ways. Trevor J's here. Good to see Trevor J. Look at the green font and the little blue badge. Wow, Trevor. Good morning, Raptors family. Good to see you, Trevor. Let's see what your words of wisdom are today. Be careful of what you heard. It might not be true. Before you take it around, spread it like a disease. There you go. Yeah, this is probably good. This is very good, wise words. Gossiping and rumors and talking about people behind their backs. This is something that happens all the time. It's natural. But one of the things that people need to realize is just because somebody comes to you and tells you something about somebody, it doesn't mean that it's true. It's from their perspective and how they feel about that person. And you could meet that person later on down the road and be like, that person was totally wrong about what they said about this person. I think that they're amazing, and they were like, they could have an axe to grind with them or something like that. It is very good to not make your judgments of other people based on somebody telling you what they think you should think about them. In some ways, some people would tell you you should worry about that person who's coming and talking to you about that person, because they probably do that to you down the road. So that's part of the reason why gossip is insidious and toxic, is because when you gossip, well, people around you are going to think you're going to gossip about them. So maybe it's good to not gossip. And that's a good thing. Thank you, Trevor J, for your words of wisdom. MSJ's here. Hey, can anyone find a box score for the Germany-Canada game? I can't find one on FIBA or anywhere. We cannot. Chris, the Raptor Freak family would be finding this box score if it existed on the internet, and none of us found it. I was on the chat yesterday saying, I wonder if we can find the box score. And Isaac and I went deep, scouring the internet for a box score for Team Canada Germany yesterday, and we could not find it. All I could find was betting odds and weird shit in German. That's all I could find yesterday. It was very frustrating. And it was weird. We were getting the stat lines from like things like the Orlando Magic's official account on Twitter posted Franz Wagner's stat line, which wasn't bad. In fact, he was key to helping Germany win that game. He had a huge three late, and he didn't shoot too bad. He wasn't the overwhelming superstar that Magic fans are going to want to say. It really was Schroeder who was the superstar for that team, Germany, leading them and doing amazing things for them. I got a couple stat lines I can read for you real quick, Chris. Daniel Tice, who's really annoying, had a really nasty putback dunk that pissed me off. He got 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. A solid game for Tice. And honestly, we hate that guy. Anytime that guy's doing something good on a court, whether it's in the NBA or for Germany, I'm not happy about it. Franz Wagner, as I said, he got 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 steals. That's not bad. These guys were all right around 18 points. Now, Dennis had the craziest stat line. Like I said, he had 8 rebounds. So for him being the point guard and him getting 8 rebounds is fantastic. 15 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 steals on 6 of 10 shooting for Dennis, and he made his only free throw attempt. So in some ways, Dennis was fantastic. He absolutely was a leader for Germany. And he started right off the bat with a lot of good energy and doing things right the winning way. I'm telling you, he was on both ends of the court really good. He was helping direct things and making a few shots here and there on the offensive end. And then the work he did on SGA was amazing. And this is what we're talking about. The defensive ability of Dennis Schroeder is very, very good. And it's going to really help the Raptors this year. He tied up SGA yesterday. He didn't let him do nothing when he was guarding him. And then in the reverse, when SGA had the ball, when Dennis had the ball, you know who was guarding him? It wasn't SGA. No, they didn't put SGA guarding Dennis Schroeder yesterday. They had RJ Barrett, a taller player, guarding Dennis Schroeder for most of the game. So that was interesting stuff. Now, I wish I had the box score, Chris. It'd be much easier for me to break it all down. I do remember some of the stats from the game here and there. I know that Team Canada shot like 35% for the game, which is really bad. And Germany shot around 46%. And that's part of the reason why they lost. They didn't play well at from three either. They missed a lot of their threes. And the other thing was, at a certain point in the first half, the Team Canada was only settling for threes. They would not go inside. It was pissing me off. They were taking lazy shots, not very good shots, and weren't working the ball around. So shot selection is definitely going to be something that Jordy's going to have to talk to these guys about. They can't be playing lazy. It could be that they were just easing into this friendly schedule in the first game. But seriously, I saw some really bad shots by Team Canada players in the first half yesterday. And, they didn't score hardly any points in the first quarter. They looked like a Nick Nurse team struggling in the first quarter, like our Raptors last year. They couldn't score nothing. And they were down by like 20 very early in the game just because of stupid shit, because they couldn't make any shots. And Germany was hot. They came out and they were rolling. Some people are saying this is part of the battle with Team Canada, is that they're super talented, just like the U.S. And in fact, if they were going to win that game yesterday, I was going to say they won because they're more talented. That's why. But Germany, they have experience and they played together for years. Like the Wagner brothers and Dennis Schroeder, Isaac Bonga, those guys have played on Team Germany as a cohort for a long time. So they have a lot of connectivity and past together. Team Canada is still very young as a nucleus. And that is one of the detriments. Like they have the experience of being together much longer, Germany. And then we are a younger team, but we're more talented. And it's crazy because Team Canada almost won this game yesterday, even though they played absolutely shitty. They could almost coasted on their talent and won still. The game didn't count. The Berlin fans had a great time. They booed the hell out of Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks was interesting in this game. We saw Dylan Brooks being Dylan Brooks in a Team Canada jersey, and I was here for it. That dog, that spirit, that little bit of Dennis Rodman villain in him is a very worthwhile attribute to have on your team, because in some ways he's a fighting spirit, a competitive spirit, and he'll fire you up. And he was doing a little bit of that out in the court. It was funny because you'd see Dylan interacting with players from Germany and the German referees, and there was a lot of smiling and a little bit of laughing. You could probably tell that they're playing off of his reputation and the stuff with him and LeBron in the playoffs from last year. So there's a lot of stuff around Dylan that's fun. Now, some people are upset. Why are they booing Dylan? Well, you know what? Berlin fans want a chance to be like NBA fans. This may be the only time they get to see our guy from Mississauga. So let them boo him. It's like he asked for it. We know he likes being the villain. And in some ways, when they boo him, it feeds him and it makes him stronger. So I don't get upset to hear the foreign crowd booing Dylan Brooks. We also have to remember that Dennis Schroeder is a Laker last year, and he was in that whole part with Dylan against the Lakers. And there's a lot of German fans that are big Dennis Schroeder fans who are also Laker fans. In fact, we saw in the crowds in Berlin yesterday, there was a lot of Laker jerseys in that crowd. So no wonder they're booing Dylan Brooks if they're Laker fans. So that people were wondering, why are they booing Dylan Brooks? Well, he's a notorious villain in the world of basketball, and he's brought it on himself, and he likes it, and I like it too. And there's no big deal as long as nobody's really not attacking him or doing anything crazy. This is harmless, and it's just a part of sports. And why not let the German Berlin fans have their chance to boo bird Dylan Brooks, a villain in basketball? That was pretty cool. All right, Cowboys here. Let's see. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Bam. Didn't get a chance to see the highlights yet. Hope Dennis played well. I'm going to tell you right now, Cowboy, he was the best player on the court. To me, in a lot of ways, Dennis Schroeder was controlling that game, and he was the one who was dictating it, and he was the leader for Germany, and they won. So, yeah, he did very well, Cowboy. As Monique was saying in the live chat while we're watching it, he don't look hurt. He didn't not look hurt at all. He doesn't look injured. He's moving real fine, moving real well all over the place. In fact, Dennis had a new drop yesterday on his YouTube channel, and it was fun. It was fun. It was just the perfect pregame because it was showing like the practicing of the team for Germany leading up to it. It showed him coming out on the court to practice, and Lou Dort was already out there practicing for Team Canada. And they talked to each other for a sec. They had actually played together on Oklahoma City for a little while. Dennis was on the team when Lou was a rookie. And so they have a friendship. And it was cool to see Lou Dort talking to Dennis. And, Dennis was saying, yeah, I was on the team when he was a rookie. He's a tough guy. I have a lot of respect for him. He's one of the best defenders in the league. This is Dennis Schroeder talking about Lou Dort. That kind of content and stuff is just so awesome to somebody like me and you guys, I'm sure, is to see the inside like stuff from a player like Dennis on our team talking about a great Canadian player like Lou Dort. And there was more really fun stuff on that clip. They went mini golfing. Is that glow in the dark mini golf? And it's like Dennis and Joel and Mikey and It's just him and his little buddies, and it was fun. It's a fun little clip. It's not too serious, but we've now seen Dennis paddle boating, going to a club, going to the movies. Now we've seen him mini golfing, so we're getting to see like all kinds of different fun recreational activities with Dennis, along with the basketball kind of side of him also. So very good stuff, and cool to see his family at the game. Also, we see his mom, his kids, his wife, and his older brother all in the front row at the game for Team Germany versus Canada yesterday. So yeah, Dennis is doing great. He looks great physically. He played well, and he has a happy family that loves him all around him. And he's got all kinds of cool apparel coming out. So he's living life. He's doing good right now. Yeah. MSJ saying, I think Canada put it together in the second half. And as you said, we played the bench to end the game. I just want to see the box score. I know. I just want to too. I seriously do. I can't dissect this. I can't do my autopsy of the game without seeing what happened exactly with the numbers. So in some ways, I'll just kind of go off my head. Now, RJ Barrett was horrible in the beginning of the game. So was SGA. Neither one of those guys could buy a shot, and they came out flat. Some people are worried that SGA's game is not going to translate to the international game as well, because part of what he does has to do with certain spacing and certain things like that that is conducive in the NBA. But it may not work as well in an international play. There may have seemed like some of that yesterday, because it seemed like SGA was struggling in the very beginning of the game. In some ways, there was not good decision making, and there was a lot of turnovers. RJ couldn't hit the bronze side of the barn to begin the game. He was shooting very badly. It wasn't until the second half that he got going a little bit and made himself look a bit better later. Dylan Brooks had a big three at one point, but he really didn't score a whole lot at all. He was getting after it though. And it was really cool to see him like being so dogged with his defense and just being aggressive, because he did get in the middle of stuff and kind of get the ball coughed up from Germany to cause a turnover a few times. And that was really good to see from him. Now, Kelly Olynyk may be the most important player on Team Canada. I'm not going to lie. The leadership, the way he plays, the way he holds it down, the experience, the way that he is like one of our only big men, he is so integral to this team. In fact, when we were struggling early in the game yesterday, he was one of the only guys who was doing good things out on the court. And it was really just playing really solid low post defense and, making baskets. He was manufacturing points one way or another here and there. But the experience of Olynyk is so important to Team Canada. We can talk about how it's great to have studs like SGA and Dylan Brooks and RJ on the team. But honestly, Kelly Olynyk is absolutely essential to our success for Team Canada. This guy has got it. He's going to play well and solid. It's not like he has to score a lot, but we need him healthy and we need him playing in games at least, because he brings such important stuff that the Team Canada is going to need. So just a little bit of overview on the team. And Lou Dort was amazing. Like at one point, Lou was doing his defensive stuff where he's just really dogging them. Dennis knew that he was going to be doing that. He's like really annoyed with Lou Dort's defense. And then also Lou very active in the end of the game, trying to help them to win, hitting some big threes. And it was just too little too late. The other guys, if I'm going to give 3 stars in the game, I'm going to give 1 to Lou Dort. I'm not going to order them from who's higher or not. Nickel Alexander Walker had a huge second half, and he was a big part of Team Canada trying to come back and win this game. And then Kyle Anderson, holy cow, he came in. He kind of played backup center for us yesterday, and he played really well defensively. And then he was doing a lot of important stuff too, and making some big key baskets. He played huge for us in the second quarter, and then also in the second half. And he was really part of sparking us to be able to come back and get close in this game. Like I said, we're down by 16 at halftime, and we only lost by 5. We had our chances to come back and win. We probably missed at least a dozen free throws yesterday. So you figure it out. You do the math. We missed like a dozen free throws. We lose by 5. We're down by 20 in the first half. Yeah, we were doing all right. We came back. It was good. Let's see. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey. Saw Sarah in the green with the little blue star. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. You probably explained already, Lex, but do these amicable matches matter in any terms of qualifying? No, they don't. This game is purely just for warm up. This game does not count for anything. It is not taken into account for Olympic qualifying. It does not anything. It really is just like a warm up game. It is a preseason game. Very, very much a preseason game that doesn't count towards anything. In fact, that's part of the reason why Jordy didn't have to play his best guys at the end. And it was smart of him to play the third stringers at the end of the game. See, this is the kind of outside the box thinking that Nick Nurse just lacked. You can play your third stringers in a game that doesn't matter, Nick. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm going to do that. No, I'm going to play my starters 45 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. But no, none of these games in Europe, as far as the 3 games in Germany and the 2 games in Spain, they're all going to happen in the next week or so, count to anything or matter for anything. They really are just games to get Team Canada more used to playing with each other, more practice, and just get ramped up for the ones that really count, which are the ones that in Jakarta. So when that happens, that's when they're going to count fiercely, when they get to Asia. So none of the stuff in Europe it doesn't matter. So, and great question, by the way. And don't ever worry about whether I talked about something. I will repeat it, and especially to a member of the channel. Yes, I will always repeat or talk about it again if you miss something. So don't ever worry about that. Nako's saying, wish I wasn't at work for the game. How'd everybody think Shooter did? Good to see you, Nako. Always love to see my good friend Gerald Mayhew. He did fantastic. He looked electric. He looked really happy. He looked healthy. He moved really well. He shut down SGA. Let's just put it that way, Nako. He shut down SGA, the best player on Team Canada. He didn't let him do nothing. He was all over him, and every time he tried to shoot over him, it looked ugly, and he missed. So, yeah, there you go, Nako. There's your report on that. Good morning to Cool Cat. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. We really missed Jamal's three-point shooting on Team Canada. Free throws, wonder if nerves were a factor. FIBA game is a very physical adjustment game. Yeah, there was ugliness out there. There were a lot of 50-50 balls that if the team that's more aggressive to get to the ball will get it. Sometimes it's just getting on the floor and scooping it with some muscle because there was a lot of that kind of stuff. I think the free throws were just bad concentration. It's really an easy thing to fix. They just got to be more on it. And it was the weird guys that were missing free throws, like RJ. Dwight Powell missed 2 free throws in a row, and I was like groaning about it. It was just bad for concentration. Lou Dort got fouled on a 3-point shot in the second half, and he had the opportunity to get us within 1 point, but he missed 2 out of 3 free throws. And that could have been a huge deal right there. So there were a lot of them without looking directly at the box score and telling you there were a lot of missed free throws yesterday. And I don't know if it was nerves. It was a lack of concentration. It really is that usually because the free throw is a free throw. It doesn't matter. What are they nervous about? The game doesn't count. So I think they weren't taking it seriously is part of the problem there. Yeah. But yeah, the game was a bit physical. And the refs were weird. The refs called weird stuff at different times. Sometimes it was confusing. I thought that they would call something, and then all of a sudden it was like going the other way. I'm like, oh, they called it the other way. It looked like the call was this way, but they called it the other way. And then the other part of it that's weird is the goaltending rules in international play are totally different. There was one point where somebody took the ball off the rim, and it was, it's not called because in FIBA rules, that is legal. You can do a lot more and get away with it would be goaltending in NBA. So there was a bit of that also in the game yesterday. I was like, oh, yeah, no goaltending. That's right. You can just go get it. If it's going to lay on the rim, you can run up there and just grab it and take it off the rim as a defensive play. So there is some adjusting. Tice in particular was a bit of a goon in the game yesterday. Mo Wagner also. We know those guys are going to be like that. That's what they do in the NBA. They're goons. They're the modern day versions of Bill Laimbeer. And that's what they were doing. There was a lot of physicality. We know Mo Wagner has got that punchable face. And he was being very punchable in the game yesterday at times, for sure. Let's see. Stargate saying they broadcast curling and irrelevant poker 1,000 times a day on our sports networks, but won't show us our men's national basketball team games. Shaking my head. This game yesterday was an NBA caliber game. Both teams had enough NBA players that it really was like NBA caliber kind of basketball. And Sportsnet dropped the ball. They're idiots. The amount of grief they got from people sending them messages and telling them they're idiots for this, it was good because people came in full effect. And you know what? They adjusted. They fixed this. They're going to broadcast the game on Saturday on NBA TV here in Canada. So if you guys have NBA TV, you will be able to watch the game Saturday morning without illegally streaming it. So there you go. The people say something, things happen. And they are going to put these games now on TV. They learned their lesson yesterday. Let's just put it that way. And NBA TV will be broadcasting the games from here out. So if you have NBA TV, you can watch it that way. If you don't, I'll have a stream link for you also if you want to watch it again. It'll probably just be the same one that we used yesterday. I'm sure it's going to work for these Germany games, at least these next two. Maybe not for the Spain games. We might have to find a different one then. But yeah, yeah, they have different broadcasting priorities, and yeah, that it's silly. It's so silly. This is such a marquee matchup. The demand was there. Y'all dropped the ball. It sounds like Rogers does not understand their market. You idiots. You do not understand your market. All right, let's see. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey. Nameless. Now that Fred VanVleet is gone, I knew this would unleash his venom on Pascal, this clown. Yeah. Such a negative force. Dennis better be in shape for the season so that he can keep guarding top players. Yeah, he looks in good shape. He is moving really, really good. Yeah, we knew this. We called this. It's like now that Fred's gone, this guy's going to switch his target to a different Raptor and be ready for it. And well, his new guy's Pascal. That totally tells us that this dude's trying to dismantle this team. He does not care for the Raptors. He cares for Scotty, and he probably doesn't even totally care for him. He just cares to get him off the Raptors. So yeah, every single thing about he shall not be named is insidious, and he's a decaying, hollow person that needs to just go rot away in his little corner of YouTube, please. Monique is here. Good to see the super fan, Monique Lawrence. Always love to be graced with her presence in the live stream chat. Good morning, everyone. Dennis for Germany and Nickel for 3. I don't know. Okay. She liked Nickel Alexander Walker. And that is actually, he was probably the strongest in the stretch run near the end. You know, those guys didn't mind sitting on the bench at that time. RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, SGA, Kelly Olynyk. They were letting these guys step up and get their chance to do good things. They played every single Team Canada guy that was available yesterday. We saw Trey Bell Haynes. We saw Melvin Ejim. We saw the Scrub Brothers. So it was, a very balanced. If I had the box score, I could tell you exactly the minutes distribution. It was very even because I think a lot of the different guys played around 15 to 20 minutes each, and nobody played like most of the game. So it was very even, and there was a lot of time for the end of the bench in the game yesterday, and that's smart management by Jordi Fernandez with his rotations. And the fact if they could have pulled off beating Germany with the third string guys out there at the end of the game, that would have been a huge accomplishment. So a lot of like the people like Oren Weisfeld, Samson Folk, these people are saying yesterday was a very positive thing for Canada, even though they lost. They look good in certain ways, and they look bad in certain ways that they can fix. And that's the thing we like. They make more free throws. They have better shot selection. They box guys out. They play more intense and together on defense. They will be very good. In some ways, the athleticism and the defensive talent of this Canada team could be one of the top defensive teams at FIBA World Cup this summer. So we'll have to see if they get it together, get on the same page, communicate right, and maybe they can get a seal and keep people out of their paint and make it real hard for people to score. Yeah. So Nickel for Canada, and of course our guy Dennis for Germany. Yeah, I like that, Monique. Those are good stars for the game. I like that a lot. All right, let me see what else you're saying. Iceman LeGervin is in the house. Dennis Schroeder is going to be the Raps starting point guard. Get used to it. Rico Hines announced that NBA players will be showing up this week, Raptors included. Well, somebody was saying in the chat yesterday that Rico Hines is advertising that Pascal is going to be there next week. So we know maybe Pascal will be there, and that's pretty likely. These guys are still in LA. Now, listen to what they were doing yesterday. And this is the Darko era, guys. They had a rock, paper, scissors tournament at Raptors practice yesterday. I know this sounds a little crazy. There's a coach around the team that's pregnant, and she was running this thing in the practice with all the coaches and the players against each other, and they were doing head-to-head like rock, paper, scissors, literally. And people are making jokes. What's next? Duck, duck, goose? What's going on here? Well, it was smart and was fun because these guys were all smiling. They were getting into it. This is the kind of shit that's ingenious by Darko. They were playing rock, paper, scissors. They're getting all excited and competitive about it, and they're all getting amped up. And you could see it in the clip on Raptors Official on Instagram from yesterday. Scotty playing Jeff Doughton. Do. oh, and everybody goes crazy. And they kept showing the matchups. And the finals was Slim Duck, Chris Boucher versus Coach Jama. And Jama won. And then they freaked out. Like OG tears his shirt off over his head in celebration for Coach Jama winning the rock, paper, scissors tournament at Raptors practice yesterday. This is crazy. This is cool. In some ways, this is so juvenile and basic, but it makes sense. And the whole point that the coach had was she was saying that, listen, y'all didn't all win and y'all didn't all lose, but you were all together. And that's what matters. And that's what being a team is. So it's a team building exercise and a fun little thing on Instagram for us to watch. The players really like it was weird. Those vibes are different. You wouldn't have seen those kind of vibes around Nick Nurse practice with that kind of unorthodox event or kind of game playing. So that was fun to see them play rock paper scissors at the Raptors practice. I know I never thought I'd ever say that in my entire life that they were playing rock paper scissors at the Raptors practice yesterday, and Jama's the champion over Chris Boucher. There you go. That's the kind of reporting you can expect on the Raptor Freak channel. A rock paper scissors results. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool that they did that. If y'all haven't seen the clip, it's fun. You can tell that it did bond these guys, all of them. Garrett Temple going up against Scotty. I love it. It was fun. It was fun to see. Very fun to see. You know, Iceman saying that Dennis is going to be the starting point guard. I don't know. Like, seriously, after yesterday, I wouldn't be upset about that because this man is the vet. This man has got a lot of experience. He knows how to set people up. One of the things that Dennis has been doing recently that I've noticed, I picked up on, is he's really following the Raptors closely, whether it's the other players, whether it's the Raptors official account. And when they post stuff, like they posted that Scotty Barnes mixtape of his passing from last year, Dennis is all over liking this stuff. It's like he's going and watching the Raptors account and he's seeing what he's seeing. He's scouting Scotty. And he's like, okay, I'm going to be playing alongside this guy. And I got to figure out how I can get the ball to him. Like maybe I used to get to LeBron, how I get to, this is how I used to do this. And when I was in Oklahoma City with Darko before, I want to figure out these guys around me, Grady Dick, Christian Coloco, Precious Achua, and figure out how I can work with these guys to get these guys even better. So I like Dennis being all over the social media on Instagram, liking other people's stuff. He's going on Scotty's stuff and liking Scotty's stuff. He's liking Pascal's stuff. He's liking general Raptor stuff all around. And this is good. This is good. It's like he's doing his scouting almost, it seems like. So, yeah, let's see. Fiercey's saying he's calling Pascal Slocum. Okay, he's such an idiot. Hence why I never go on his channel. Yeah, that's horrible. That's stupid. Slocum. So is he doing that thing from CNN? He's just as bad as that stupid reporter on CNN, Pascal Shakim. What is this? Listen, seriously, people just boycott him. Just stay away from him. Whatever's going on with him, I'm sure it's a dumpster fire. It's got to be miserable. And, it'll all work out its way it's supposed to. At some point, in some way, he's going to cancel himself somehow by saying something so egregiously like what everybody's like, what? We know who you really are now. If people are still following him after saying stuff like Scotty would be better off on the Lakers or Warriors or the way he's treating Pascal right now, shame on you. You're not Raptors fans because if you're listening to this guy, it's not. Anyway, its names are names. Siakam's been dealing with this for a long time. And Pascal Shakim. It's not like you're original, Robert. Go fucking copy somebody else or do something else different than a CNN reporter that can't say his name right. Yeah, you think it's a slight. The slight is that you're a loser doing a stupid ass, dumbass your YouTube channel while Pascal is living the highest life in the highest places like Salzburg, Austria. So you go ahead and be miserable and be a horrible wretch. Meanwhile, Pascal's living his best life. So there you go. There you go. Evelyn's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Good morning to Granny Evelyn. Thank you, Granny Evelyn, once again for producing the Raptor Freak shirt. I did not buy these. I did not pay. I did not get these made. She made them and surprised us and said, hey, Raptor Freaks, I got shirts for y'all. I'm like, oh my gosh, Granny, you're amazing. Thank you, Evelyn. You're amazing. Holy cow. All right, let's see. Monica's saying Dennis's new video. Yeah. I touched on it a little bit, a few hole-in-ones, at the glow in the dark German mini golf. Don't play the hole. Joel said, don't even play this hole because it's the bell on the wall. You got to hit the golf ball up a little ramp, and it's got to hit a bell hanging from the wall. There's no hole. If you don't hit it right, it won't hit the bell. And Joel, his buddy, his guy who films all this stuff, and is like his assistant guy, he's like, don't even play this hole if you come here and you play golf here. That's the kind of content you're getting from Dennis Schroeder. Tips on which holes to not play on glow in the dark Berlin mini golf courses. There you go. That's in depth, very in depth. Iceman like Gervin's saying at MSJ, all the Scotty Barnes point guard people. That's who's over there. That's who's over there. Well, listen, I don't mind Scotty Barnes at point guard. In fact, that propaganda that Raptors official put out this week was very strong on me. That was really smart of them. If they're hearing rumblings about Scotty being the point guard for the Raptors this year, and people are kind of in contention about it around Raptors Nation, well, put out some propaganda in a positive way for Scott. Put out a highlight reel of some of his best passes, like that football pass to Gary Trent Jr., where he went like this. All that stuff looked really good. And when I saw it, I was like, you know what? Damn it. Maybe Scott should be the point guard. Holy cow. Look what he's doing. His vision and his creativity is very, very, very good. So it's just if he can clean it up, maybe not do some of the flashy stuff that's not necessary, that turns into turnovers. It really is going to be assisted turnovers. This is the only thing I care about, Iceman like Gervin, is what you were minutes police last year. Well, I'm going to be assisted turnovers police this year. And whoever's going to be running point guard, I'm going to be looking at your assisted turnover ratio. And if you got a good one, I'll be like endorsing you. But if you don't, I'll be like, this man doesn't need to be playing point guard for us. So you were the minutes police last year, Iceman. I'm going to be the assisted turnover police this year. And I'm going to be watching. And I'll be watching Jeffrey. I'll be watching Malachi. I'll be watching Marquise. I'll be watching Dennis. I'll be watching Scotty. Hell, I might even watch Pascal for a little bit too. So why not? Why not? I'll be the assisted turnover police this year. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoa. What's your assisted turnover ratio there, Scotty, last night? Okay, you passed 6-1. Yeah. I looked at a StatMuse. StatMuse, that crazy site. They've got a list. They posted something where Scotty's games without Fred playing and his stats. And I was looking at his assisted turnover ratio with Fred not there. And you know what his assisted turnover ratio is average in games without Fred playing in his first 2 years is 4.8 to 2.2. Now that's basically 5-2 assisted turnover ratio. 5-2 is okay, but that could be way better. That could be way better, especially if he could get the numbers up. Now, people will argue, well, if he had guys that made their shots when he passed it to him, his assists would be higher. And that is true. That is true. If those guys had made more of their shots last year, Scotty would have a higher assist ratio to turnovers. And I get that. So let's see if he can improve from 4.8 to 2.2 assisted turnover ratio without Fred around. Because that's going to be important. Iceman like Gervin, thanks for being here as always. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's up for any of them. I'm going to say this. I will endorse whoever's got the best assist to turnover ratio. You are our point guard. That's what I'll say. I even wrote Marquise that message. I said, Marquise, you want everything opened up to you? Just get your assist to turnover ratio right, and all doors will open up for you, Marquise. I wrote it to him on Instagram in a message, in a comment. Yeah, I said, you get your assist to turnovers right, Marquise. Everything in the NBA will open up for you as you want it. Yeah. Stargate Sam Pensair is an agent. He's an agent. Yeah. Planted by either Canada hockey entities or the NBA itself. Both have a specific agenda in wanting to see the back of an NBA franchise, see the back of an NBA franchise in the city and country. Okay. I don't know if he specifically works for the NBA. I really think, and I don't know if he works for Hockey Canada or anybody like that either. I think he works for a Celtics fan. I think he works for a Sixers fan. I think he works for a wealthy individual that just has a lot of money to burn. It's like they pay people to be fucking people online and do shit. Like nobody's paying me. I'm doing this because I love this team. And this is the purest thing that I could do what I'm doing in this channel. But somebody is paying him because he wouldn't have all this fancy stuff and he wouldn't have all this stuff. And why would he do it if he's so miserable? Somebody's paying him to do it. You don't do things that you hate doing over and over again if you weren't getting paid to do it. You only do that stuff if it's your job and you have to do it. And in some ways, I love doing this. I was like, why I do it all the time. But he seems miserable and like tortured when he's doing his shit. And that's what makes me wonder that he's like maybe getting has a benefactor who's like a huge Celtics fan or a huge Nets fan or a huge Sixers fan, and they hate the Raptors and they're trying to do bad stuff to us on from the inside. And so they pay him to come and be a agent of chaos. That people will come and, oh, he's for the Raptors. He does Raptor stuff. Well, he isn't for the Raptors. And he's here to confuse you and give you bullshit lines of thinking, is what he is. Yeah, that's what it is right there. Seymour's here. Good to see Seymour Pape. Who won, Canada or Germany? Germany did win in the end by 5 points. But listen, Seymour, what they were beating Canada by like 36-16 at the beginning of the game. They kicked their ass right away, and Canada clawed back. And they didn't even play that well to claw back. There were times where Germany looked really bad, also really bad turnovers and just not taking care of the ball correctly. And Canada got on top of it. Dylan Brooks, in particular, and Lou Dort were both major pests, and they made them cough up the ball in a certain couple places. There was one point in the game where I was like, Dylan Brooks is everywhere on the court right now. He's just everywhere, all over the place. It was a good showing by Canada. They lost. But as I explained earlier, they were playing their third string against Germany's number one string. So, it's within reason. Germany won, and Seymour saying, what the fuck? yeah, he's thanking Mo. MSJ saying at Iceman, oh, true. And I feel Scotty Barnes should play point guard for the second unit. But yes, the Scotty Barnes point guard fanatics are a tough crowd, but I don't think they are quite right and just in love with Scotty Barnes. Listen, it blinds them to a degree. And I get it. Young people really want to champion young people, and they want theirs as soon as they can get it. Even if it's not in the right time or on the right schedule, it's a little rushed. Y'all are too eager, and you kind of need to let it happen naturally the way it's supposed to. It's going to all happen real good and real awesome and real nice. Trust me. But y'all want it too quickly and in a weird way that's toxic. And in some ways, y'all need to just temper your expectations, allow things to naturally happen. Once again, these kind of situations have to do with Darko. Darko is the one who's going to decide this kind of shit. And he will figure out the best way to utilize our guys. One of the things that I've been hearing this week that I love is talking about the possibilities with Pirtle. Pirtle as a passing big man could be unlocked by Darko. In fact, this may be something that's huge this year. And all these people that were mad that we got Pirtle at the trade deadline and we re-signed him this summer, and they're like, why are we doing this? You're going to see some real good payoffs from Pirtle in particular in this system with Darko. Because in some ways, he's going to really lean into Pirtle's expert passing ability. And we may see some very special things from Jakob Pirtle that people may not realize, partly just because of Darko's coaching and his system. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very, very excited about that. Let's see. G saying the international game is much more physical, and Germany's defense was very good. Canada got used to it in the second half and got it together. Canada stole the ball well, and their defense will be good. Yeah. I think their defense is going to be exceptional. They'll be one of the best defensive teams at World Cup. And this is true. The Tice and those Wagners and then other players on that team. And we know Dennis. We know what Dennis plays too. Yeah, they're a very physical team and really up in your face and just on you kind of team. And that's the way they should be. That's the way they should be in Germany. Yeah. So, Canada did way better. They made adjustments at halftime. We saw Jordy's coaching style a little bit from how they adjusted and changed their energy after halftime. As Monique said, she said they got that halftime talk. She said that in the chat yesterday when we were watching it. She's like, yeah, they got the halftime talk from Jordy. I'm sure they came out with a different energy. And we saw it. It was totally different. Germany was flat and Canada was very aggressive. And there were 3 straight turnovers by Germany to start the second half. And that was fantastic. That was very, very fantastic. Let's see. Monique saying number 2, we were sloppy early, much better in the second half than the first. SGA and KO were quiet. KO. Kevin Owens, KO were quiet. For NAW and Dort were good. Yeah, they were. Nickel and Dort were very good in the second half. More of them, please. And Brooks and his shot worries me. Well, that shot's gonna worry the Houston Rockets a lot more than Team Canada in the NBA season. That's for sure. Yeah, Dylan's really takes shot selection was an issue for Canada yesterday. They very much were not like taking good shots. They were forcing shots with people in their face. They weren't passing the ball correctly exactly, and there was a very poor shot selection by Team Canada, especially in the first half. Especially in the first half, it wasn't totally right in the second half either. But shot selection is the thing they're gonna have to clean up for sure. Like none of this lazy stuff where you just like you're outside and you're kind of reading things and you feel like the guy just laid off you and you just jack up a three real quick. No, that's lazy. Pass it. That's a lazy play. I'm still wondering who KO is. Who's KO? Who's KO? I'm not sure. Oh, Kelly Olynyk. That's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna get that from that, Monique. Kelly Olynyk, of course. I'm like KO, Kevin Owens. What? What? Yeah, Kelly Olynyk. Okay. I didn't feel like Olynyk was quiet. No, in the beginning of the game, he was the only one scoring for us. He got dunks and he was making shots, and he was like our leading scorer in the first quarter. So he was actually pretty good. But SGA and RJ, they were cold at the beginning of the game. Both of them, they didn't play very well in the first half. RJ Barrett and SGA didn't play well in the first half. MSJ saying, my big fear is a lack of experienced bigs on Team Canada. Yes, yes. And you kind of got that feeling from yesterday. In some ways, Germany has a very big lineup. They play like three power forwards in some ways. And that we felt that to a degree as a smaller team with Canada. Now, if we had Zach yesterday, that would have helped. Zach was in street clothes and he didn't play. And if Zach Eddy had been out there, that would have helped a lot. I don't know if I totally like Alexander being the backup center. I get it. They think he can do it. He's kind of a smaller, quicker center, and he played okay on defense yesterday. But in some ways, I don't like it. He's undersized, and I'm glad that they have Zach Eddy as also as somebody put out there. Dwight Powell, Kelly Olynyk. I mean, we don't have enough big guys. I really do believe you're right. That I worry about this too, Chris. That we're thin there, and any kind of injury to any of those guys is going to really hurt this team. And in some ways, that's not very good planning for depth on Team Canada. I don't get this. Why do teams carry two centers? You should carry three. You should carry three. A NFL team has three quarterbacks. You're going to have a backup to the backup. So I'm just saying, and to me, I feel like this is a dumb thing that the Raptors have not done correctly for a few years, having a center depth of three centers. Cleveland can have five centers. We've only got like one, if not even one, a half one. Kem Birch. That shit was pissing me off. So Canada, why are you doing this too? Is it because Nick wants this kind of a roster with no centers? Was that why we were building it that way, Bobby? Is that why you built it that way, Rowan Barrett? Is because Nick liked playing light with less big guys? Fuck that. Nick's gone. Both teams get more centers on Team Canada and the Raptors. Please do it. Stargate saying Kyle Anderson, doesn't he play for China though? Kyle Anderson, I don't know where he plays right now, but he's on Team Canada and he played well. He played well yesterday. I have no idea. He could be playing for China at this point, but he's on Team Canada also, and he played very well. These guys that aren't in the NBA that play for Team Canada, in some ways they're better than some of the NBA guys. Ejim and the scrubs in particular have a lot of international experience. And in some ways, that really helps the NBA guys who are newer to the international game, having Melvin Ejim, Phillip, and Thomas Scrub around, because they can help learn the international game, the differences. And in some ways, one of the things that somebody said yesterday is that our non-NBA Canadian team guys looked like they fit in with the NBA guys. They didn't feel like the competition drop-off was too weird between Bell Haynes and Melvin Ejim and Lou Dort and SGA and those guys. It wasn't that much of a talent drop-off. If they felt very cohesive is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Superfans saying, disappointing that Zach didn't get to play. Yeah, it is what it is. He's a big dude, and I want to see more of him for sure. Monique's also saying Jamal Murray, Canada, potential improvement. His ability on the defensive end has always been a question. He and SGA can rely on Dort to defend other high-level guards. Jamal is an okay defender. I know that he's very much an offensive player first, but we shouldn't put him down for his defense because if he puts in the effort, he's great. He's a great defender. But we got to see him in the jersey and playing. He's not even in Germany right now. Now they're saying he may show up for the Spain games next week. So we'll have to keep our fingers crossed and hope that he does show up for them. Now, I'm not as far as worrying about whether Dennis Schroeder should be playing as a Raptors fan. He looked fine. And I hope that of course, we don't want anybody to get hurt, but Dennis didn't look like he was laboring or in bad shape. And it doesn't seem like it's a bad thing that he's playing for Germany right now, because this is something we've had concerns about this week with the news about his Achilles. Nameless saying, Nacho, when are you performing next? I'm coming to watch. Those comedy clubs are great. Awesome. Yeah. Gerald, if you saw his comment, write it in. If not, I'll try and find the information for you, Nameless, and I'll let you know. It's maybe somewhere like Just for Laughs. It could be Comedy Bar. It could be all over the place is where Gerald is going to be. Yeah, yeah. Dana's here. Good to see Canadian Dana in green with the blue star. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Dana. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And good morning to you and your family and loved ones. Cool Cat saying, I feel we are too small for FIBA. We seem to be guard heavy, so we will have to play fast to make up for it. Yeah, I get this feel too, Cool Cat. I think that you're right. That I feel like in some ways, I mean, it depends on the team. It depends on the matchup. In some games, we may be exposed for this. It seems like Germany is one of those kind of teams because they seem big overall. France may be another one with Gobert and certain issues with them. We'll find out real quick when we're playing against France with Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert, and that team, Nicholas Batum. So those are really the main guys on Team France that we're going to play right off the bat in the first game that counts in Jakarta. We'll be seeing Rudy Gobert. So it'll be interesting to see how we deal with Rudy at that point. Hopefully Zach Eddy's ready for that game because in some ways, I know Kelly Olynyk could probably do some stuff to Rudy. In fact, I think they were teammates in Utah for a little while there. So he may be very familiar with trying to stop Rudy Gobert. Man, Kelly is such an important person in this team. I cannot stress this enough. Watching that game yesterday made me realize just how essential Kelly Olynyk is to Team Canada. He really, really is. I think playing fast will help also is another great strategy, Cool Cat. Good stuff. Good stuff. I have this concern also, just like you do. It depends on the team, though. Some of the teams may be smaller and it doesn't matter. But some of those other teams, it could matter. Fiercely saying, we all know Pascal is a hard worker and puts in the work. So to call him a slacker is crazy. You know, it's just bizarro world in his world over there. It's like opposite world. He's not looking at reality, obviously. He's having a hard time getting to grips with reality. And reality is Siakam is not a slacker. And Siakam is busting his ass. Every time you see Siakam on social media, he is covered in sweat, glistening with sweat from working so hard. So get your head out of your ass, Misovic, and fucking pay attention. Pascal Siakam, like he's slacking? No, dog. Listen, listen. You gonna try and put your work ethic up against his work ethic? Yeah, nah, dog. Listen, this is the other thing. I'm like the Pascal Siakam of streaming and being on YouTube because I go every day, baby. I have no time to be tired, just like Pascal Siakam. You got a 700-day streak like I do, Robert? No, you don't. So, yeah, you don't know what slacking is about. If you want to know what slacking is, you're slacking, motherfucker. If you want to look at what you're doing on YouTube compared to what I'm doing, motherfucker, you want to talk about who's working hard? Yeah, you're a slacker. You're Robert Siakam. Instead, yeah, we're the ones working, Mr. Siakam and I. Yeah, you come compare your numbers as far as how many hours you got on YouTube, how many minutes of watching, how many people, and all this stuff. And maybe you got more numbers and subscribers, but you definitely don't have more work put in than me. Yeah, there you go. You're slacking. Yeah, I'll attack him on that because I got the track record to go up against him and beat his ass. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Oh man, I'm crazy. All right, let's keep going. No. All right, which one? Where am I? It jumped ahead. Okay, let's see. All right, here we are. Nameless is saying, "I'll be the guy yelling Raptor Street, laugh out loud." Awesome. Yeah, do it. Do it. Go to Gerald's show and just heckle him. Say, Raptors free. See what Gerald does. Gerald, have you been working on your crowd work to deal with hecklers? Seriously, this is important. If you're going to do stand-up, you got to be able to talk to these people back. I know. You know, Gerald, I'm sure you've dealt with some hecklers in your time on the stand up. I'm sure he has. Yeah, Nameless, go down there. It'll be fun. Maybe you could be a Bob Samuda to him or something like that. Do some inside jokes with him. Get with him before, and you can be like doing a whole uncomfortable thing with him, even though you already prearranged it. You know that Nako and I used to do this kind of shit in real life. We did this one thing once in Kensington where we were doing a show, and it was like Nako, myself, and our friend Phil and Abram, and we're standing up in front of people and we're trying to do a comedy sketch, and we had planted someone in the audience, a friend of ours named Ezra, who was older than us with glasses and bald, a little short guy, not somebody that looked like he knew us. And in the middle of our show, he freaked out and started yelling at us and cussing at us. And everybody who was at the show was like, "What is going on?" And he was like yelling at us like he was really angry. It was all pre-planned. And like Ezra and I are huge wrestling fans. So we were using our knowledge of making a scene in wrestling and fake scene to fool everybody. And we totally fooled everyone. It was awesome. So we used a plan in the audience before. So Nako and I are not above this. So Nameless, you want to be his plan in the audience, you go ahead and go down there and yell Raptors freak, or maybe even make a funny moment or something like that. We're gonna find out. Gerald, give him when your next date is. I don't know if he has one for sure right now, but I'm sure he's got one in the line coming up. Shere Khan saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family." Good morning to Shere Khan, the return of Shere Khan. I love seeing Shere Khan back in the house with us. A great Raptor Freak. A Raptor Freak that has been Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year. Shere Khan is here in the house. Been a while because I've been busy. Listen, it's off season, man. And like I said to many people, like Sue yesterday, this is a home. Y'all can come home whenever you want. Go out into the world and venture around. Go away for a bit. Get perspective. But you know the Raptor Freak will be here, and the rest of us will be here to welcome you back, Shere Khan. So we're very happy to see you back. The Canada-Germany game was fun, but I couldn't decide who to get behind. We have our Raps guy, Dennis, on Germany, but so many great Canadian players to cheer for. Fun times. You know, I had the same feelings yesterday, Shere Khan. I was like, I can't lose. We've got Team Canada. Of course, I'm a root for Team Canada, but we've also got Dennis on Team Germany. And it was like, all right, I'll root for Dennis. He's a Raptor. I totally felt the same way as you yesterday, Shere Khan. It was fun because of that. Now we need to kick the shit out of New Zealand. Yeah. No, I don't know if I got anybody on New Zealand I'm rooting for like Dennis Schroeder. So yeah, we need to kick the shit out of New Zealand. I won't be so torn between the two teams on Saturday morning. That's for sure. J.O.'s here. Good to see J.O. again coming through. That's what I'm saying. Y'all can leave and come back and I will say hello. I'm so happy to see you again. And I won't be upset, especially because this is the off season. This is very much the dead of the summer, August. And I totally don't expect everyone to be crazy about the Raptors 24/7, 365 days a year. So, you know, like Tom Duke, logical Raptors fanatics, Shere Khan, they got to go take a break. They got their lives. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to show up right around preseason, right around when the beginning of the NBA season starts. Some of the names that we saw here last season will be showing right back up again. It's just the off season. It's just how it goes. J.O. saying, gang, 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 Sixers gang. Uh-oh, long time no see, Raptors. I was expecting you guys to go out and get a real star to go with Siakam. Nick Nurse is putting together a little bit of a powerhouse with Pat Bev. Yeah, you know, in some ways, I like Patrick Beverly a lot. I really do. But I'm happy with Dennis Schroeder. They're very similar kind of players. And in some ways, Schroeder won't cause you as many waves or problems as Patrick Beverly possibly could. But, you know, it'll be interesting. You know, it's good to see a Sixers fan. I'm glad you come and check on us every once in a while. You know, there's interesting things happening with your team right now. You really need to clear up this James Harden thing. Seriously. And what the fuck is Joel doing talking like that? Like he's ready to go to New York all of a sudden. Man, I'm worried for y'all. In some ways, look, Nick is not a good coach for your team. And it's going to be a weird situation. He wants these guys to work hard. And Doc let them be lazy last year. There's going to be a conflict. And I'm worried for you in some ways. I feel bad for y'all in some ways. Y'all think that things are good and things are going to be fine with Nick Nurse, but I know about Nick Nurse. Oh, trust me, I know about Nick Nurse. And there's certain things about his personality and certain things about some of the guys on your team already that is not going to click. And I'm thinking that y'all might need to just go ahead and trade Joel this year. Seriously, you got to get Harden out there first, but you're going to have to get Joel out of there. And you may want to just go ahead and send him to Miami and get Bam and like Tyler Hero or something like that. because honestly, Joel's going to sell y'all out. You know he is. You know deep down inside, Joel Embiid is going to sell out Philadelphia before he's done there. Whether he goes to New York City or he goes to Miami, he's going to fuck y'all over. You know he is. You know it in your heart already, Jo, that he's not somebody y'all can trust. And I'm telling you right now, it's not a good fit with him and Nick. And if you value Nick Nurse as your coach and you want to keep him, well, you're going to have to get rid of everybody else. You're going to have to get rid of James. That's for sure already. He's not even going to show up. And then Joel, you're probably going to have to get rid of him. And then you'll probably get rid of Daryl Morey too, just because you guys are not confident in him anymore. And then you'll have Tyrese to build around and whatever pieces you got for trading Joel. But I'm telling you right now, y'all are not going to have as good a year as last year. This is not going to be a good year for you guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I worry for y'all. Seriously, Joel could get hurt because of the way Nick pushes people. And that could be what happens that causes the rift. Is like he's pushing Joel, and Joel's like, I can't anymore, Nick. I can't. And he's like, you've got to. And then Joel's hurt, and he's out for a month because Nick overused him. Talk to Fred VanVleet. You'll learn real quick about what Nick Nurse does to our players here in Toronto while he was here. He's going to overrun your starters, and it's going to be weird. Seriously. Jo, I'm glad to see you, though. And, listen, in some ways, I respect that y'all want to get behind Nick Nurse. But realize if you're going in that direction, you're going to have to get rid of the lazy players on your team. You're going to have to. Yeah, David is here. Good morning to David. He's in green with the blue little star. Interesting. Cowboy's saying, he's got the Pensair face. I love it. He's such a chump. I'd love to see him on the street so we can play rock, paper, scissors. Whoa. Cowboy's saying rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, I wonder what that game is. Yeah, with Cowboy. I don't think it's the same game as the Raptors were playing yesterday when he says rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. Well, you know what he looks like, Robert. Robert looks like. Yeah. So Bradley, if you see him, yeah, sure, go ahead. But I don't think he lives in Toronto. If he does, well, I mean, whatever. David's saying, laugh out loud. Nick Nurse putting together a bit of a powerhouse of floppers. Pat Bev running around biting ankles. Have fun with that, bud. Well, David is our number one Philadelphia hater on our channel. So he would respond to the Philly fan first, obviously. It'll be interesting too. The flopping rule is going to be interesting to see how that affects things also. I think this year's going to be very difficult for Joel in general, whether it's Nick, whether it's the new flopping rule, whether it's like, if James doesn't play, there's a certain bonus that Joel gets with James playing that is going to be absent. And that's part of the fucked upness about James Harden is in some ways he's made himself essential to y'all's success, but he's also made it so y'all can't succeed with him either. This is the paradox of James Harden. Was the paradox of James Harden in Brooklyn? Is the paradox of James Harden in Houston? It's the paradox of James Harden in Philadelphia. Is that he makes Joel absolutely better. He sets him up with such great passes. It's a fantastic combination, honestly, in a lot of ways. But because you can't depend on James, he's going to not show up at the playoffs somewhere else. He's aloof, whether he's not trying, whether he's upset, whether he's just a fucking problem. He's already said he doesn't want to play. He wants to leave. He wants to get traded right now. The only reason why he opted in was so y'all could trade him easier, and y'all have not traded him. Well, he's miserable about it. And he said he hates Daryl Morey at this point. There's no reconciling their relationship from prior in Houston at this point. Yeah, there's not good outcomes for Philly coming right now. There really isn't. Nick should have never took y'all's job. He should have went to Milwaukee. He should have went to Phoenix. Taking the job with y'all was out of spite, and he's going to pay for it because of it. He's not going to be happy there, and it's going to be hell. Y'all's press is mean. He's going to be fighting with y'all's press. He may throw one of y'all's players under the bus in a press conference, and then there's also sudden like conflict because Nick so publicly threw one of the players on the bus. He does that, by the way. You're going to find that out. He might throw Melton or Harris under the bus all of a sudden after a game, and then all of a sudden there's going to be weird shit because of that. He did that shit to Precious. He did it to Gary. He did it to Chris Boucher. So expect him to do it to one of y'all's players too, for sure. Let's see. Monique saying Chris versus Jama had me laughing, but I get it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun to see. They were just like giddy, like kids, and like they were so much lining up into it. And you could tell the competitive spirits of the Raptors was really into rock paper scissors. I know we're talking about rock paper scissors today. It's just a rock paper scissors day. Name was saying slack 'em. Pascal slack him. Pascal slap him. That's what I say. You see Robert on the street, Pascal slap him. Slap him. Pow. Just like that Batman meme. Slap the shit out of him. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Slap him. G saying some fans think they can control the environment and manufacture a superstar. The cream rises to the top on their own time. We have no control over a player's work ethic and improvements. Only they do. There you go. Bam. Hit out of the park. G. The voice of reason, the voice of truth, the voice of factual actualness. This is the damn truth. It's like Macho Man said, the cream will rise to the top. And I believe that Scotty is the cream, y'all. I'm not dissing him. It's just that it has to happen on its own time and schedule. And y'all are trying to microwave this shit. And y'all need to realize the best way to do this is to slow cook it and really get the texture and that taste into that fatty meat of while you're slow cooking it instead of putting it in the microwave. What are you going to get? You're going to get it shriveled up and burn out if you put it in the microwave. That's what I'm saying. So you need to slow cook this shit with Scott and understand all good things are coming. It's just they need to come on their normal and natural schedule. Yeah, G, great comment. And I agree with you. The cream will rise to the top. We know Scotty is the creme de la creme, and we're not worried about this. Just let it happen how it's supposed to, y'all, and stop wanting it so quickly. Yeah, Fiercey's laughing at David. David is funny. David is very funny. I love David's stuff. He's so funny. He's a traffic cop. He's going to be a traffic cop when he gets my whistle. Yeah. Name is saying, I think Darko was in here earlier this year hinting at Scotty getting some time at point guard. That's right. He was. That's what he was kind of saying. He's like, Scotty's our point guard. He said it on Raptors stuff too. He said it in an interview with Will Liu and those guys. I believe he said that he's probably going to play Scotty at point. Yeah. I mean, he has to make him happy. Scotty wants to be the point guard. Well, let's try and make him happy. But once again, I'm going to be that assistant turnover police. And if they ain't doing the numbers right, well, I'm going to say Scotty should not be playing point guard right now. And then also, I will still make the argument that Scotty's the most effectively utilized in the low post as an offensive scorer instead of the person passing to people. That if he could be the person getting the passes and making a bunch of Kawhi-like low post moves, just overpowering people, going over the top of them, which is what he can do already, that may be the best way to use him as far as winning basketball. You know, we would want to get another Kawhi, right? Kawhi got us a championship. Well, Scotty can play like Kawhi to a degree, and it may be smarter to develop his offensive game as the scorer down in the low post with his back of the basket and just overpowering people, getting those babies on his back and just beating up those babies, as he said last year on 2K. Yeah, put those babies on Scotty's back and don't worry about passing the ball to other people. Get those babies on your back and beat up those babies is what I'm saying. Yeah, but we'll see. Darko's in charge. Darko will direct. Maybe we'll see a mix of both. I'd like to see Scotty get more low post still, though. That is such a gold mine. Let's mine that gold. Fiercey saying, yes, Nameless. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whoever the point guard is, the point guard is going to be. It could change from night to night. It could change from matchups. It could be something doesn't work and he has to do something else. We'll have to see how it goes. Seymour saying, still shaking my head. We lost to Germany. No, this team ain't it. No excuses. Seymour, let me give you the context. Listen, first of all, all right, Seymour, Germany's team has been together for a few years. Germany's team has 4 NBA players on it and Isaac Bonga. They're not a slouch team. In fact, Germany may be a top 5 European team right now behind France and Spain. They may be one of the top 5 best teams in Europe right now. So listen, they might be already in the Olympics. They are a very good team. They're not a shitty team. You got to understand, our point guard, Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, Daniel Tice, Isaac Bonga, these guys have played together for like 6 or 7 years. So they have collective experience together. And our guys have been thrown together in the last couple years. And their coach got changed a month or so ago. And there's all kinds of new things that are happening with Team Canada. So in some ways, it was like old experience that knows what they're doing because they've been together for a while against thrown together guys that are they're more talented. And also, if you watch the game, Seymour, you'd understand that Canada did really, really good. And a lot of people are saying, like Warren Weisfeld, Samson Folk, they're saying that Canada had a win yesterday, even though they lost. So don't read into this. They had a slow start. They were down by 20 in the first half, and they ended up losing by 5, and they almost won the game. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, Seymour, we were using our third string end of the bench guys against Germany's starters in the last 5 minutes of the game. It was Dennis Schroeder and the Wagners against the scrubs and Nickel Anderson, Nickel Alexander Walker, and Kyle Anderson and Lou Dort were out there. It wasn't our best team. We didn't even use RJ, SGA, Lou Dort, not Lou Dort, or Dylan Brooks or Kelly Olynyk in the fourth quarter. So Seymour, it was a highly successful game. Jordy gauged it as we don't need to win this. It's a friendly, it's a warm up. We don't care. I want to get extra time for our end of bench guys, and he did. And they actually competed with the first team of Germany. So yeah, no, it was a huge success, even though we lost by 5. We didn't deserve to win also because they missed so many freaking free throws. They were horrible, and they still almost beat Germany, is what I'm saying, Seymour. So the future's real bright for Canada. And you're going to, listen, we may get a second chance to play Germany on Sunday morning, and we'll kick the shit out of them on Sunday. Watch, if we do play them again. Watch, we will. So don't shake your head. Don't worry about excuses. This is a friendly game, didn't matter, and we looked good in it. Just trust me. Canada looked good in it. So don't worry. Cool Cat saying those types of teams building sets are geared towards a young team. When you have a mature, experienced team, you won't need those types of sets. You mean the rock, paper, scissors? It's cool. I mean, I like this outside the box kind of stuff. I was hoping this would happen when our two top candidates were Jordy and Darko. I was like, they both do this kind of stuff. So this is good. Any kind of team building stuff, any kind of fun stuff, anything that gets these guys into like hanging out and talking more and being around each other, it's all fantastic. So I love what the Raptors did yesterday at practice, even if it's juvenile. Yeah. Nako's saying that's wild that Penny got to mainstream news. What, Penny? Penny? What is that? It's wild that Penny got to mainstream news. Penny. You're talking about Penny Hardaway or what? I don't know what you're talking about there. Nako, what is that? What is the mainstream news on Penny? Let's see. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying that video shows that the guys are real connected ever and before. Good leadership by Darko. That shows this team is going to kick ass. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Raptors, let's go. Let's walk. Yeah, I love it, Trevor J. I love it too. It's unorthodox. It's different. The guys are smiling. It's getting across the exact message they needed to. The kind of bonding, those kind of things is really good. I love it. And to see all those Raptors guys together and just having a good time together and getting to know their coaches better too. This is all so important. All so important. I'm so happy the Raptors are together right now. Chris is saying on his chat last year, Pensera asked me if his hate of Fred was too much. It's like, is that a weak moment? He's like, MSJ, please tell me, do I hate Fred too much? I'm having a weakness moment where I might be overdoing it or something. I don't know. He said no, but if he refocused on another player when Fred is gone, I'd wonder. He's no agent, just needs to hate it to live his life. It's sad. Well, who wants to be around that energy? Like, you want positive, uplifting, spirited energy like me. And you don't want a Debbie Downer like, oh, my life sucks. And I hate my life because I hate everyone else. And I just hate the world. And I'm just a miserable fuck. And I don't even know why I talk about the Raptors all day because I obviously hate them. What the fuck are you living your life this way, Robert Misovich? How are you living your life this way? Like, why are you in such hell for yourself? You don't have to do this. Just go away. Just go away. Maybe you need to go live some peaceful life in some other way and stop. Maybe you need counseling. Go get counseling. Go talk to someone first, and maybe your life will be better. But just stop spreading misery and sadness and pathetic depression on YouTube, because that's really what your channel is. Like, at one point this summer, you got in a really depressive funk talking about how your life sucked. And then everybody saw your porn search history on your stream. What the fuck? Get yourself together, you miserable fuck. Seriously, that's hilarious, by the way, that happened to him. By the way, yeah, he's just miserable. And he is. He switches MO. Like, MSJ, don't tell him that his hate is wrong. Tell him his hate is wrong. His hate for Fred last year was wrong. And you were wrong for telling him he was okay. Don't encourage him, Chris. Cool Cat saying that nameless YouTuber will also attack Grady Dick because he will be a fan favorite too. Well, let's just predict this stuff right now. Anybody but Scotty, he will predict everybody. He will go after everybody other than Scott. And in some ways, he'll go after Scott in some weird ways too. It's miserable. In some ways, let's not talk about him anymore. I think we've had our quotient of him today, and it is what it is. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. In some ways, I don't care. It's like whatever and whatever. We just focus on what we're doing. If he goes after Grady next, well, we'll know. Maybe he'll turn off all the Grady fans and be like, "Fuck you, Robert, talking that shit about Grady. Grady's just a good young guy, just like Scott. Why are you treating him different than Scotty?" I could see that. I can see that. Cowboys saying, "What's up, David?" You tell him. Got to go later, Lex. Bam. And Raptor Freaks, let's go Team A and Team Canada A and Raptors. Chomp, 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 chomp. Yeah, Bradley, be safe out there. If y'all need help, call Tada. They'll come and move your couch. They are in the phone book, but also on the internet at Instagram. Tada Services. They can help you out. David's saying Kelly Olynyk. That's right. That's what KO means. Sometimes y'all short form messes me up. Like I get some of them and I'm very keen, but sometimes they throw me for a loop. I don't think I've ever heard Kelly Olynyk called KO, and that is why I didn't catch it. It is his initials, but Kelly would have helped me a little bit better than KO. Okay, Nako's next show, y'all, is he's doing the Comedy Brawl on August the 20th at Comedy Bar on Danforth. So that's just over near me, just over Comedy Bar East. That's the new location for a comedy bar. It's kind of over near Maine and Danforth, somewhere over near there. So August 20th, Comedy Bar Danforth. He's in the Comedy Brawl. So maybe Nameless, you need to come down there and help him win the Comedy Brawl because he'll be going in there against other stand-ups, and you could help him maybe get through there by being really loud and obnoxious and maybe yelling Italian things at him too while he's on stage. That would be fantastic. And be like, yeah, so yell some Italian at him on stage, and everybody be like, what the fuck is going on here? And maybe that really helped Gerald. So yeah, August 20th, Comedy Bar, Danforth, Comedy Brawl featuring Gerald Mayhew. So go and support Nako the Nacho Raptor Freaks. Yeah. Monique is saying, hey, Lex, are you following both Scotty's Instagrams? Yes, I am. And just so y'all know, Scotty has a lifestyle Instagram now. He's got new stuff. You know what? She brought up Instagram. Let's go look at Instagram, and I'll go look at that Instagram that she's talking about. First of all, we got Dennis Schroeder. He's got his latest drop from yesterday, training with the national team and also playing mini golf, as I said earlier. Dennis's stuff is awesome. Now, when you watch Dennis's stuff, make sure you have the English subtitles on because it's all in German, and you may be just watching and be like, I don't understand what's happening. Well, turn on the subtitles so you can so you can read what they're saying. Because unless you know German, you're not going to understand his clips. So there's a cute picture of his son with a ugly green jersey on, saying "goat." And Dennis's Instagram is very centered around his family. It's his wife and his son, Dennis Schroeder Jr., and they're his loves. And he's talking about how his family is the most important thing in his life. There's a nice picture of the whole family together. It looks like it may be Ellen's parents, and then his mom and his brothers and his helpers and all of his kids. Yeah, that's his gang. That's Dennis's gang on his Instagram. That's his people. Yeah, and he's got his whole thing about freeze, and he was freezing Canada a bit yesterday, and he's very happy with the crowd from Berlin. He wanted to thank Berlin for coming out and supporting Germany in the game win over Canada yesterday. That's part of the reason why it was good for Germany too, is because it was their home court and it doesn't count. In some ways, let's let the home court have some shine and good things happen for them. Then that people go home feeling good, even though Canada lost. The game didn't count. And Dennis is saying right here, my family is most important in life. Basketball is secondary, is what he's saying. That Dennis is a family man first. So just so y'all know, and he's thanking Berlin. As I said, he was shutting down SGA so good. Mr. New York City is in LA. He's not in New York, but he's taking pictures of Rolls Royces, and he's quoting Rick Ross. And he's in some sort of Beverly Hills car dealership, and he's looking at looks like a Lamborghini. Oh, it's a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. So I don't know. Marquise is buying a Lamborghini. He might be buying a Lamborghini. Pascal had more of a drop on Instagram yesterday at his Red Bull training facility. He's just training hard. He's talking a lot about working hard. His brother's wearing the Raptors red T-shirt. Jim Sand's still there. He's going to be coming back to North America very soon. and we'll probably see him on the Rico Runs. There is a new clip from Rico Runs that dropped yesterday. I did not get a chance to review it yesterday, but I will watch it today so I can tell you about what I saw on the Rico Hines runs, because there is a second clip for this year already. Now, Pascal's taking more pictures as a tourist over in Austria. There's a very beautiful lagoon next to the mountains. There's a mountainside village. There's a very cool kind of arena looking architecture. There's an overhead picture of the river in the middle of the city. And then there's a very beautiful cityscape in Salzburg, Austria. Pascal, being a true tourist and going around and taking very artsy pictures of mountains and buildings and different things. Very, very cool stuff. You got actually an artistic eye, Pascal. I got to say, you're very good at framing and getting really nice pictures together with what the subject is. Scotty has announced that he is going to be back in Utah on August the 12th, 7 o'clock at Corner Canyon High School with the Powder Showcase. He went there last year. It's in Utah. It's one of these Pro-Am games. He went and played in it last year. And I believe that's the one he played against Kyle Kuzma. And it really became like a Kyle Kuzma versus Scotty Barnes battle in that game. So he's returning to come back for a second year in a row, Powder League, and it'll be August the 12th. Scotty will be in Utah playing in that game. So I love seeing that. Thad Young putting on blast. Matt Robertson or something, T-shirt guy. I guess him and the young boys went and got some shirts or something from this guy. They got some swag from him. And there's just fun pictures. They're in the elevator, and Thad's younger son is making a funny face, and we see Shanika there too. And Thad's got the iron claw like he's one of the Von Erichs up there. He's like, Thaddeus, you're awesome. Let's see. DeMar is talking about his connection to Drew League and Compton, and it being an old head and being a part of the Drew League history. DeMar DeRozan with clips of him and Kobe competing at Drew League. There's a lot of history there, and he is like the OG there around there for sure. Raptors official putting on blast. There's a partnership with BioSteel. They're going to do some sort of event in the community where you can go play basketball, I guess. There's also putting on blast some of the guys from the video games team for the Raptors. And then there's the clip of them playing rock, paper, scissors. Pretty hilarious. And then they've even got a clip of Schroeder killing it on our team, on Team Germany yesterday against us. You know, he had a couple plays that were really cool. He did this little turnaround thing and burst to the basket on the baseline and got a really easy layup. That's just something that he does. Slim Duck has got some goofy thing about guys who get liquor licenses and never have plans after they get it. So I don't know what he's talking about there specifically. And then Scotty's lifestyle Instagram's got a picture of him on the side of the court, just kind of taking a breather. Looks like he's been working out hard. So yeah, check Scotty's new account. It's Yesurski Scotty, and it's his lifestyle Instagram, as he puts it. Koloko is putting on blast Precious, and I'd like to see this. Koloko is very proud of Precious Chua for being in Nigeria this week for the What If Unlimited basketball camp, and it's a huge success. A huge amount of kids down there taking part in Precious's camp in Nigeria, and Koloko is commending him for doing the camp back in Africa. I like seeing that teammate stuff. Of course, there's Isaac Bonga with his Pepto pink hair. This was one of the weird developments about the game yesterday with Team Germany and Canada. We saw Isaac come out with that pink, Pepto pink dye color like Dennis Rodman would do. So Isaac was German Dennis Rodman yesterday. It looks pretty funny and pretty cool. It's very shocking. And he definitely did it right before the game, because we saw him in the days before. His hair was normal color. Well, he was very much a pink hair for the game yesterday. Y'all watch the highlights, you'll know that's Isaac Bonga with the pink hair. Precious himself is putting on blast his What If Unlimited. So many good clips from over there. It's obvious why he's excused from team practice in LA right now, because he's doing bigger things over in his home country, getting the youth chances to meet an NBA player and be a part of a camp like this is such a huge thing. Really, really shapes the future of basketball in different ways. And he also did a really cool radio show over in Nigeria yesterday. So there's a little bit of a clip of Precious talking about the camp on the radio in Nigeria. I noticed that when Precious is over there, his accent changes. He has a little bit of a different accent in different places, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Africa, or whether it's in Canada. He does speak differently. depending on where he is. So very, very cool to see Precious, and what he's doing is so important, honestly. All right, there's your Instagram check with the Raptors. Lots of stuff going on with them, so a lot to cover there, and so many more accounts that Scotty. Everybody can keep getting accounts. I'm gonna have so much to go over from Instagram if they keep adding them. All right, let's see. Where am I on here? I want to make sure I get back to my right spot and make sure. I think it was Monique talking about Instagram is where I was. Yeah, that's where it was. Nameless is saying, Nako, that's perfect. 2 blocks from my girlfriend's place. All right, Nameless is going to make it because it sounds like he is over in that area already. Comedy Bar Danforth, August the 20th, Comedy Brawl, Nako the Nacho in person. Get down there, Nameless, and support Nako. It'll be fun. Carlos here. Good morning, fellow freaks. Good morning to you, Carlo JS. Name is saying, I think I saw the Shrimp Daddy show the other week. The best thing was watching my girlfriend split a gut. There you go. So Nameless is a comedy bar connoisseur. So we'll go down there. And just so you know, Nameless, the owner of Comedy Bar, Gary Rideout, is a huge Raptors fan. He's a huge, huge Raptors fan, a good, good Raptors fan. So if you represent Raptors around Comedy Bar and Gary's around, you may get his respect. So just so you know, the owner of that bar is a huge Raptors fan, just so you know. Let's see. Carlos saying, listen to Raptors Pod with Will Liu and Alex Wong yesterday. Got so turned off by their outlook on the current state of the team. See, why do you do this, guys? Like, listen, seriously. Think about this, Alex and Will. You guys work for Sportsnet. You guys work for Rogers, and you, in some ways, want people to watch the Raptors this year. So why are you endorsing the product or selling it like it's a shitty product? You can't do that. Seriously. In some ways, I understand this corporate hierarchy of like what you want people to spend money on the game. You want people to go to the games. When y'all do radio shows like the Raptors show and you're just downplaying the Raptors and how good they're going to be this year, you're going to turn people off from coming and spending money and paying tickets. So in some ways, I'm better for the Raptors than y'all are because I'm encouraging them to have a positive mindset and to think the best and to think good things are going to happen. Well, you guys go on there and you just down them and say all this, and you get them all depressed. Who the fuck's going to go to the games? So in some ways, you guys are hurting the bottom line of the team. I have hope. I have positivity. I believe in Coach Darko. I think that we can be successful this year. But if everybody else wants to paint a dark picture, well, what's going to stop Raptor fans from just staying home and not buying tickets? So in some ways, y'all are counterproductive to helping the Raptors to be successful when you put out such negative ninny product content. So please realize this, Alex and Will. I love you guys, and I want you guys to continue to do great stuff on Rogers, but realize this. You're hurting the product. And maybe it's Blue Jays Rogers telling y'all, hurt the Raptors, hurt them. We want baseball to be more important. Do they talk up baseball instead? Are they talking about the Blue Jays instead? Nameless is laughing. I like that. Monique saying, J.O., Patrick Beverly is a bum. When Monique says it, it means so much more. Patrick Beverly's a bum. He talks a lot of crazy shit. In some ways, these guys who are talking in podcasts so much lately, they're idiots. Like Gilbert Arenas and Jeff Teague and Patrick Beverly. They're talking way too much these days. These podcasts in some ways are bad for the NBA because we're hearing how much these guys are knuckleheads. So, yeah, Pat Beverly's had some very interesting opinions this summer. That's for sure. And what he's been saying in podcasts and stuff. So I don't want Patrick Beverly here. I'd much rather have Dennis. If we're going to have that kind of player, Dennis Schroeder is the better one because he's not going to cause so much collateral damage. Patrick Beverly really makes people hate him. And he talks way too much. Dennis Schroeder is not really a trash talker. He's just aggressive and annoying and a pest. Well, Patrick Beverly is more likely to talk some shit and make some problems for the Sixers in certain ways than Dennis Schroeder is for the Raptors. That's for sure. They are the same player in a lot of ways, though. Just I will admit that. G's saying Pascal in his second year shot 22% from three. In his third year with Kawhi on the team, he shot 37% from three. Does that look like slacker numbers? He became the most improved player, literally the most improved player in the league. Yeah, it's not like we need to defend Siakam against this guy. He's totally biased, and this dude is just making manufacturing shit. It's no point in even like, okay, you sound stupid is what this guy sounds. And that's all we got to chalk it up to, G. I mean, we can provide all the proof in the world that would argue against his arguments, but what's the point? Who cares? The people that know the truth. And it's easy to see. A lot of people will come to the conclusions that you just made on their own and be like, this doesn't add up. This guy's a most improved player. This guy's stats have gone up. His shooting percentages have gotten better. He's working hard every offseason. Yeah. This guy doesn't always talk about this guy, Misovich. Yeah. Seymour saying, Carlo J, yes, I don't know how you could even listen to those idiots. I'm surprised they still have a job. They must be paying for airtime. Ain't no way they're getting paid. Well, they haven't been around a lot recently. This is like special Raptors shows just in the middle of nothing going on this summer. In fact, they should be just off. They don't need to be talking right now. In fact, they're doing more damage than helping things. So yeah, Raptors show, just stay on hiatus. The season's not starting anytime soon. Just go away and take your breaks. Go take a vacation for a while. Leave it to the Raptors free. I'll take care of things while you're out. I'll hold down the shop. Yeah, you guys can go. Yeah, just go to the beach. Go on a vacation. How about that? You need time off. Go take time off. You don't need to be around right now. Yeah. Carlos saying, yeah, I was questioning why I was listening to them yesterday. Well, that's what I'm saying. At some point, you got to be like, why am I listening to this? I'm wasting my time. It's like, seriously, Raptors content makers, do you not understand the secret sauce to my channel and why my channel is popular with real fans? Is because I'm not denigrating the team. I'm not putting them down. I'm trying to stay optimistic, and I'm not talking shit about them just for the sake of talking shit about them. Y'all don't know how they're going to be next year, Will Liu and Alex Wong. You guys don't know. So how the fuck are you going to fucking say this is what's going to happen next year, and this is going to happen, this is going to happen? You fucking don't know. And we could go either way. We were a 500 team right down the line. We could go above it or below it next year, and we have no idea. And before, I'm not going to make any judgments or predictions right now. I'm going to aim for the sky and say, we're going to win. We're going to kick some ass instead of being Debbie Downer and saying, oh, this is going to happen this year. And without Fred, this is going to happen. And we're going to really miss Nick because of this. And like, fuck you guys for this bullshit. Carlo JS just turned you off is what happened. There you go. You just got turned off. Boom, you're turning people off is what it's saying. You want to get more engagement. You want more followers. You want people to watch you. Well, don't turn them off with what you're saying is what I'm saying. I'm trying to be fair. I can be, but there's a way to do this and be positive and upbeat about it and not be like, oh, just get ready for a lot of losing, Raptor fans. What the fuck is that? Let's see. Chris is saying, gotta go. But I think yesterday shows us that Dennis can run a team. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that he really isn't a massive drop from what we had in Fred. We were all good. I see a decent season ahead, far better bench, too. I mean, it's so contingent on Darko and the changes. He's going to utilize these guys better. He can unlock some of these guys better. We're going to see more smoothness on offense. We're not going to struggle so much trying to score, hopefully. These are the changes I want to see from last year. Is an offense that looks competent, that works well, and doesn't seem like it's working so damn hard just to make a basket. These are the changes I want to see, and I think we will because Darko will be a better offensive coach than Nick. Let's see. Seymour saying the coach makes the decisions on what position you play. If a player is dictating his position, that could be toxic. Just saying. Well, that's part of the problem too. Is that like regardless of the fans wanting it, if Scotty is politicking too hard within the team for what he wants and it's not totally working, it's toxic to the team. That's part of the problem too. So he has to be absolutely flexible. Scott, if you're such a versatile player, you can do whatever you want on the court. You should be like water. You should really be like, I'm going to fill in the gaps, whatever is lacking on this team in whatever department. And in some ways, he's already been doing that. His rookie year could have been called that in some ways. But at the same token, because you're so talented, in some ways, that is the way you can help the team the best, is being the stopgap for every single thing that we could have happen. You could be going and doing it for us if we need it in that instant. And I think in some ways, he's trained himself to be that kind of guy as an NBA player. And, boxing him in with like one specific, really static role, like you are the starting point guard and that's it. That's not good for a player with his versatility. You want to be able to be open to him doing whatever role on the court at different times. And he's open to it himself. He said, one quarter I'll play power forward. One quarter I'll play point guard. One quarter I'm playing the center. He's used to being switched around already in his first couple of years in the NBA. And that's why he should be utilized like that. If Darko wants to switch him into a different position for a certain play, people shouldn't be upset about him not being the point guard for that one play. That's just ridiculous. Let's see. Carlos saying Schroeder was brilliant yesterday. Love what I was seeing. He really was. And on both ends of the court, he was so good with the ball and finding guys. And then also knowing when to go himself. That's going to be a really important thing with the Raptors, obviously, balancing when he should go and when he should be passing other people. He'll go more heavy to passing other people, and he doesn't have to score himself. And we know that about him. He's an ultimate professional like that. And then the stuff on defense. He may have been playing one of the most talented players that's going to be in this FIBA World Cup in Asia this month, SGA. This guy, it may be one of the most talented offensive players in this whole tournament, and he shut him down. He totally shut him down yesterday. Nameless is saying the writing's on the wall for Embiid and Philly. May have been clear the day Nick Nurse became coach. I think it was. In some ways, they had to talk to each other and be like, "Yeah, are you okay with me being here, Joel?" I was like, "I guess so. Yeah, sure." But Joel's such a weirdo. He may have been like, "Yeah, I'm okay," but he's kind of like, "I'm not totally thrilled about this. Actually, on the down low, I'm really not totally thrilled about this. I know James isn't thrilled about this. Why is James not so thrilled about this? Maybe I shouldn't be thrilled about this also. Oh crap! This is what his practice is going to be like. Oh my gosh." Coach, I can't practice today. I have to go to my son's piano lesson. Okay, I love piano, Joel. You're teaching your son how to play piano? Yeah, it's piano. Can I go? Yeah, yeah, it's piano. Of course you can go. Nick Nurse loves piano. You can go. It's something like that. I could see Nick giving him special benefits because he's a franchise player, and he could be lazy. He may be like, "I'm not playing practice this time," and Nick's not going to argue with him because he wants to keep Joel happy. Yeah, there can be a little bit of stuff like that. Watch. Let's see. Seymour saying, "I love Scotty Barnes, but the team comes first." Exactly. And any true Raptors fan should feel this way. We can be fans of players, but the ultimate numero priority should be the franchise. That Raptors first. If you're a Kobe fan first and not a Lakers fan first, well, that's fine. You can be that. But in Raptors land, to me, because of the way our team gets treated, and the way players can give us the shaft and take off like Vince or Chris Bosh, this is why I became this way. It's like team first because anybody could burn us at any time. And in some ways, the team is what's going to stay here no matter what, regardless of players or coaches or other personnel. That is what we stay with, the static, and that is the team first. And Seymour's exactly right. Scotty can be a very high ranking, one of our favorite players, but team first is how we are here on Raptor Freak Channel. That's right. Cool Cat saying the group that we are in are all very tall, so it will be a challenge, and we have to win our group to make Olympics. Tough challenge. Well, we did get some news yesterday that is helpful with this. Well, maybe the tallest player in the group, Kristaps Porzingis, is sounding like he is going to be excused from Latvia and not able to play. The Celtics do not want him playing in World Cup because he has a nagging injury. And it sounds like it's not official yet, but it's very much sounding like he is not going to be available for Latvia, who is in our group. And he may be the tallest player in our group, Kristaps Porzingis. So this will help. This will help things. Lebanon should be a very easy team for us to beat. Latvia, hopefully, we can beat very easily without Porzingis. And France will be the real challenge in our group over in Jakarta. So that got a little bit better with Porzingis possibly not available for Latvia. Is a big deal. David's got the star of David. Wow. All right. Trevor's saying the guy who said that about Pascal, he needs to check his drawers. Maybe he's got some slacking in his drawers. What? That's a butthole face too. Trevor, wow. I think maybe he does need to check his drawers because he's full of shit is what's going on here. Something doesn't smell right. Exactly right, Trevor. Yeah, Seymour's got the poop and he's laughing about it, and he's got the Raptor chomp face too. I love that we have specialized emoticons. We have the Pensair face, we have the butthole face, we have the pink poop, we have the Raptors chomp chomp. Yeah, these are becoming special little emotes. But I have to tell y'all, we are going to be getting special emoticons and gifts for the membership very soon. Tom Duke and I have them in the works. We're going to get specialized Raptor Freak ones down the road. And those little stars next to y'all's names may be changing to being more apropos to the channel than just the generic stars that YouTube uses. So we've got this all in the works. There will be changes to the membership plans, and there will be more and more perks as they come. So thank you to the new members. And if you want to support this channel, you can just join at one of the 3 levels. You don't have to, and I'm not going to judge anybody for it, but it is a nice way if you feel like what I'm doing is worthwhile and you want to help me out and support me doing this channel. This is the best way to do it. Just to join the channel as a member and be like a monthly subscriber. That's fantastic. But everything's going to stay it is as far as free. The live streams will always be free, and this will always be here for anybody, no matter if you're putting money towards me or not. I don't care about it in a lot of ways, but some people wanted to show ways to support me, and this is how I've opened it up to do this. So I really do appreciate everybody so far doing it. But as I said, it's not totally necessary, and I really do appreciate it. Let's see. David's saying, when does training camp start? Preseason? Man, October is so far away. Well, that's pretty much when it is. I think they start getting together near the end of September, and then it really gets in full effect the first week of October. And we play our preseason starts in like the 12th or 15th of October, as far as the games. So yeah, early October. So there'll be a bit of a dead month in September for things. There's not going to be a whole lot going on in September. It's going to be a little bit tough for doing this channel. Let's just put it that way. We're going to figure it out. We'll have fun though. David saying, not kidding at all. Nick Nurse is going to drive Joel out of town and have a 300-pound Harden to get rid of. You know, I'm pretty sure James is loading up and getting a little heavier already. We saw him at that concert, a Whiling Out or whatever, Rolling Loud. He was at Rolling Loud with PJ Tucker like a month ago, and these guys were stacking up on the fat burgers. And this is a MO. James Harden has done the Charles Barkley move before. We know he's done this before, where he will put weight on purpose and be out of shape on purpose. Charles did this shit because he was upset for getting drafted to the Sixers. He didn't want to go to the Sixers in the first place. People don't even realize this. And he reported to camp at like 300 plus pounds. And it was like crazy. Like he was over 300 pounds, seriously, as a rookie coming into Philadelphia. And he caused all kinds of problems because of that. And they're like, why are you so out of shape, Charles? It's because I never wanted to fucking play for you, Harold Katz, and your stupid ass fucking franchise. Well, don't be surprised if Harden does the classic Barkley and he comes in as a fat man into training camp this year because he's pissed because Daryl Morey didn't trade him. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Seriously. Nameless is saying, I'm going to have a few fat friends with greasy hair and see-through socks say hello to Roberto. Hey, I'm not all for that, Paisan. Listen, this is my man. Nameless. This is the dude. He has friends. Yeah, he has friends. And I don't want to meet them in that kind of way. We'll have to see. David's laughing about that. Carlos saying it was only a tune-up game. Yeah, nothing to overreact to, Seymour. Seriously. Now, let's see how they do against New Zealand. We need to win that one for sure. Cool Cat saying, man, I fear for Scotty and his ego. He will be exposed to the pressure and expectations of being the face of the team. Fans have lofty expectations without the growing pains. Yeah. I really hope Scotty's got the right people around him advising him and the ways to stay grounded, to not let his ego get too out of control. He's got to really have good people around him. I feel like Brian Macon's energy is really good for him and really like kind of good for mentoring him. He's really got to find a guy on the team that he absolutely like trusts. OG could be that guy. But, it'd be great if he just bonds with Garrett Temple. And if Garrett Temple can really be his vet, because that's kind of what we want Scott to do. I don't want him to be so arrogant that he doesn't have a vet. Like Dame Lillard has spoken recently in interviews about how important Earl Watson was to him and when he first got to Portland. And when he showed up, Earl Watson was like his vet. He was his dude that showed him the ropes. Dame Lillard didn't come into the NBA thinking he knew everything and he couldn't learn anything from people like Kobe Bryant and Earl Watson. He came and he learned. And that's the mentality Scott needs to have. And it'd be really great if he could ensconce himself in a friendship or a teammate like Garrett Temple as that's my vet. That's my dude who taught me. I'll ever be indebted to him because he helped me with his knowledge and experience in the NBA for so many years. If it's not going to be Thaddeus, can it be Garrett? Can it be Otto Porter Jr.? Can it be one of these guys? Maybe it's even Dennis Schroeder. Maybe all of a sudden Scotty's like, Dennis is my vet, y'all. And I love him. I just want to see this from him. In some ways, this will be a sign that Scotty is not the problem in any kind of the situation yet last year. I want him to be okay with having a veteran leader that teaches him and mentors him, because it'll be so fruitful and important for him to get to the highest levels that he can get to if he does this. Don't be ignorant and blind to this, Scotty Barnes. Realize an old head vet is exactly what you need. And that kind of person can be helpful for you for the rest of your life in certain ways. Don't be too proud to think you know it all already. That's really, really bad thinking, and it will stunt your growth. And we don't want to see a piece on stunted growth about Scotty Barnes in 10 to 15 years because this guy didn't listen to his old heads. I don't want that. I don't want that. Nameless is saying ciao bello. Yes, that's right. Let's go speak some Italian at Comedy Bar Danforth on August the 20th. Carlos saying, Cool Cat, don't worry. This is why we got Darko. He has experience with young guys. Look at how the young guys in Phoenix and Memphis turned out when Darko was there. Yeah. And it could very well be that special relationship is with Darko. If Scotty can get that kind of bond and that kind of thing with him, that'd be fantastic. We'll have to see. It can't be surface level shit. It's got to be real. It's got to be a real fucking thing. You say, "Oh, I love playing for Nick Nurse. He lets us do what we want to do." You know, that doesn't show a very depth to your friendship or relationship with Nick Nurse, Scotty. In some ways, we can tell when you're like really into somebody, like OG, and when you're kind of like about somebody else. We can tell. We can tell. Nameless saying, I deserve another strike. All right, you get a strike. Strike on Nameless. He's like wants a strike for some reason. That's cool. You get a strike. You know what? For wanting strikes, I'm going to give you a dunk. I know this is kind of weird opposite day kind of thing, but Nameless, you're getting a dunk for asking for strikes because it's kind of hilarious. All right, there we go. Carlos saying, I'm betting that Darko unlocks a lot of the potential of a lot of our young guys. Hopefully Malachi is one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Can you do some of the things you did with Desmond Bain, with Malachi Flynn? These guys have been compared because they came in the league at the same time. And Raptors fans are so upset about picking Malachi Flynn instead of Desmond. Well, maybe Darko can change this a little bit and give some of that knowledge he gave Desmond Bain to Malachi Flynn. And then all of a sudden we see a new Malachi this year. I love that, Carlo. I love that idea. Nameless saying, screw it. Give Cowboy a strike too. All right, I'm going to give Cowboy a dunk because you told me to give him a strike. So, Cowboy, you're getting a dunk. Nameless is opposite. It's opposite. Yeah, you're not getting any strikes. Haha. David's laughing about it. Nameless saying, I want to be the Dylan Brooks of the Raptor Freak YouTube channel. I'm okay with that. I think Dylan Brooks is a fantastic villain. I think he's a fantastic personality. I support Dylan Brooks. I'm on Dylan Brooks' side against LeBron. I wanted him to beat LeBron and be the ultimate shit talker. I was sad that Memphis lost the Lakers in the playoffs. I wanted him to win that. I'm like, why can't you not cheer for Dylan Brooks in this situation, Raptors fans? Because he's getting us payback for LeBronto. Don't you understand this? The Dylan Brooks was a young kid during LeBronto, and that's why he hates LeBron. He was a Raptors fan when he was putting us out of the playoffs. So Dylan Brooks is getting payback as a player in the league against LeBron. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Go do that, Dylan. Talk more trash to LeBron this year, and hopefully you get him this time instead of him getting you. Yeah, I love it. Excuse me, but Nameless, yeah, if you want to have that energy here, I don't mind. It's entertaining. Carlos saying, exactly, Lex. In a world where you can get every kind of content you would want, why fill yourself with negativity? Perception creates your reality. This is so true. Like, seriously, you guys can be so powerful in your own lives just by how you look at it, from which angle. You want to look at something that happened, there's probably good and bad mixed into it. Now, it's up to you whether you want to focus on the good side or the bad side. You really want to focus on that bad side, you'll be miserable and it will torture you. But if you can really focus on that positive side of what happened, it maybe pulls you out of it easier and faster and gets you to avoid some unnecessary grief. There you go. Carlo's exactly right. And this is true. Like when you're getting your content or listening to people or watching stuff, pay attention to how it makes you feel. If it uplifts you and you makes you feel like more energized, more empowered, that's a good content. If it makes you feel like, why the fuck am I alive? Or like, why am I rooting for this team? Or why am I following this channel? Then that's usually a good sign. It probably helps you understand. There you go. David's saying that Nameless. Basta. Okay, let me see. I got to get my Italian on here. All right. Italian lesson incoming here. Let's see. Basta scrivere il messaggio in italiano. Poi nessuno saprà cosa significa, così non ti sentirà in colpa. I don't know. Grade me, please, Nameless. Please grade my Italian today. David, I don't know what I said, but I said it, and maybe I said nasty words or naughty words. You made me say naughty words in Italian, David. What? All right, let's see. Nameless is laughing about it. Good luck with that one, Lex. Well, tell me how I did, Nameless. Seriously, tell me how I did. I like the way you're thinking, though, David. See, I have no idea what y'all said. I have no idea. Nameless saying, I'll wear my shades in black hack in the back. Che caso fa, stronzo, queste pesa di murder. Whoa! I feel like I want to be in an Italian opera company. I'll come out and I'll be like, Lus, che caso fa, stronzo, Cristo. I missed my calling. Damn it. Wayne is saying, has Pascal linked up with Jakob since he's in Austria? No. Jakob was like, I'm peacing out, bro. I'm not in my country. I'm in Greece. I don't know. Jakob should be coming to LA hopefully right now too. Maybe they'll get on the plane together and they'll come back from Europe together. That'd be fantastic. I hope that they are really just cool and everything's fine. I'm sure they are. It's just so stupid. But no, they didn't link up. At least from what I can tell, Wayne, it's stupid. Let's see. G saying, I didn't know what to expect from Dennis, but watching how he controlled the pace in the game yesterday gave me a ton of confidence. That's what I was trying to say earlier this summer when we got him. Raptors fans need to realize Dennis Schroeder is a proven commodity in the NBA as far as a floor general and a leader and kind of like keeping flow and pace like Fred does. That's one of the things that Fred did the most for us was controlling tempo of the game. Well, Dennis can do that to a degree, and that's really, really good because we are going to need that for our team. A point guard that can control the pace for our tempo that we want to play at compared to not getting involved in the other team's tempo that they're more comfortable at. That's good. So, yeah, I was very impressed with Dennis yesterday also. In fact, when I was watching him for signs that he's hurt. I didn't see any of them. And he looked really, really good. He looked on top of things. He looks dialed in. He looks very focused. He looks like he's got good, happy energy also. So, yeah, I'm all about what Dennis is doing right now, and I'm impressed with him too, G. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play in the Raptors jersey. Carlos saying, love what I saw from Dennis yesterday. Very different pace from Fred. Yeah, he's a little bit more upbeat. He's definitely more on it. He's definitely more court aware in some ways. And he can be all over the place a little bit more than Fred can. There was a lot of really smart play by him. He really does look at the situations around him and takes them apart. And I like that. Whether it's like looking to see a teammate that somebody's getting lagging off of to hit them real quick for a quick three, like Franz Wagner yesterday, or him like having the wherewithal to understand that his defender is laying off of him and he can do a little spin move to the baseline and go right around him and just lay it up. That's the kind of stuff he's really good at reading. He's really good at reading the court, reading the floor, and he's good at dictating pace by being more up tempo, bring the ball up the court and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm all about all that stuff too, just like you guys. Seymour saying, Lex, who is the longest tenured player in the Raptors organization? Right now, as it is, it's Siakam. It's Siakam for sure. Because that year he came in with Fred and Pat Pirtle, but Pirtle left and Fred's gone now. So Pirtle was gone for a check as part of that time, but the longest tenured Raptor is Siakam. It is for him for sure. The OG came in the year afterwards, and then you can stay like, oh, Chris is the next one after that. So I think that's the order. Siakam, OG, and then Chris, our champions. The three champions are the longest. Let's see. Fiercely saying, team first is a great mechanism to cope with the deception of players who switch up. It's okay to have an allegiance to one person, but for me, so much more rewarding to cheer an ensemble who fits. Yes, Fiercely Salsera, speak of the truth. Speak your truth, and it is the truth because it feels right and it feels good when you say it. You're exactly right. In some ways, I don't have a lot of respect for fans that just are fans of LeBron. It's like, okay, you pick the absolute best setup, a genetic freak in the whole entire league that is absolutely has the easiest in some ways because he has such an immense talent. He's such a different generational kind of player. It's real easy to root for LeBron and be like, I'm a LeBron guy. Okay, yeah, you pick the easy route to root for things. And you don't even change. You could be a Cleveland fan, but no, you're not. You went to Miami with him, and then you came back to Cleveland, and then you went to LA with him. I don't respect that as much as a straight up Cleveland Cavaliers fan or a Miami Heat fan or a straight up Lakers fan. But that is a symptom of today's NBA with the highlight culture and making superstars bigger than the game. People become superstar fans over team fans. And that's why the old school team fans the best. And Fiercey's exactly right. You want to clap for a whole ensemble cast, an amazing Broadway play, and not just Bono up there doing songs of surrender by himself, being all selfish and egotistical. You want a whole cast of people acting and dancing and singing instead. I'm with you, Fiercey. It's about an ensemble. It's about a collective. You can get more done together than by yourself. There you go. Yeah, Dana's laughing at Nameless. Yeah, the Italian is strong today. The Italian is very strong. Yeah. You want a strike too? Fiercey's getting a strike. Fiercey's getting a strike. Today's opposite day. The Fiercey is getting actually a dunk for saying, I want a strike too. There you go. Fiercey, you got 6 dunks. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Nameless is like, you guys are just laughing. Nameless with the self-pass alley-oop dunk. Yeah, I like it. All right, Shaq Lindsay's back again today. Good to see Shaq Lindsay back in the house. Love Shaq. Love Shaq. That's where it's at. Tin roof. What? Rusted. Yeah, Gary might be the exception for a contract next year because Freeman can replace him. Ooh, that's outside the box thinking. I like what Shaq Lindsay's getting ahead. Let's see. Your core, Pascal, OG, Jakob, and Scotty. This is very interesting. Now, the signals of Gary will be the extension with him. There's a couple of guys that we can talk about extensions all year to we're blue in the face, but I hate that shit. It's Pascal, Gary, and OG. Yeah, they're all extension eligible. We get it. And y'all are impatient to see some shit happen. Well, it could very well be we don't want to extend Gary for some reason. And I like what Shaq Lindsay's saying. If Javon Freeman Liberty is all of a sudden up and coming and doing some crazy things, who knows? It may be a tall order to expect Freeman Liberty to replace Gary Trent Jr., but I like the way you're thinking in some ways. In some ways, I don't want to mess with Gary Trent's allegiance to Toronto, though, too. He very much is loyal to us and loves the city just like DeMar does. And in some ways, we don't want to fuck that up. I really get the feeling that Gary Trent Jr., when he was a little kid and his dad was around the Raptors, this is a magical place to him. When I was a kid and I lived in Florida and I came back to Toronto, it was like Oz. It was like going to this Emerald City that was just amazing with tall buildings and all kinds of fun things to do. It could very well be that Gary Trent Jr.'s first experience in Toronto was very similar to mine in that way. Not my first experience, but coming back as a kid is very fun. You fall in love with the city. So there may be a very special relationship with the city of Toronto and Gary Trent Jr. that we don't absolutely understand, that he loves the city even more than just the average Raptor. So in some ways, I value that. And his loyalty of opting in this summer showed a lot too. So in some ways, I don't want to talk about Gary leaving because in some ways, I really want to reward these loyal guys, especially if they love the city like Gary does. So we'll have to see. I like your core, and I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. In some ways, I don't want to burn Gary for being loyal and opting into his contract this year. In some ways, I want to reward him and keep him around, especially if he shows a new level of consistency this year. Like if he's not hot and cold like he has been as a streak shooter in his years in the Raptors so far, if he can be more consistently good night in, night out and make his shots at a more consistent level night in, night out, I'm going to be like, we're holding on to him. Because he's in some ways he has a lot of stuff that we lack and we need more of, and Grady's going to come in with more of it, but he's going to have once again we got to wait on Grady's schedule, and Gary's already here with it, and so in some ways Gary's kind of essential because he has certain things that he does for our team that we don't have enough of around the team. So Isaac's saying Dennis is a pass first point guard. Love Fred, but change is good. This is definitely true. I mean, if you're going to play with LeBron James, you better be a pass first point guard for sure. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas. I need open gym Grady Dick Carabana, not this unique value proposition rock, paper, scissors shit. And if you say shoot, Ian, trust you. All right. I saw you commenting on this on Twitter yesterday, Kareem, and I thought it was funny when I saw it then. And I see it in this chat also, and I think it's funny also. See, he wanted an open gym episode on Grady Dick being at Carabana. I think that's what you're going to get still. They got to have a little bit of a turnaround time. So we get an open gym episode tomorrow, drop in tomorrow night, somewhere around. I'll bet you'll get the Grady Dick episode you're crying out for, Kareem. I think that the little bit in the short from yesterday about the rock, paper, scissors was just a little open gym short. And it may not make the cut on that Grady Dick episode that you're talking about. I'm pretty sure you're going to see this stuff tomorrow. They drop an open gym episode and it has Grady Dick at Carnival. You'll know I was right. So don't fear not, Kareem Thomas. I'm sure you're going to get that content and maybe a little bit of rock, paper, scissors too. Can we allow just a little bit? I think it's fun. Some people are saying, when are they going to play Duck Duck Goose or Red Rover? Red Rover, Red Rover. Send Scotty right over. Okay, Scotty, come on. Woo, woo, woo. Red light, green light. You're going to be playing all the cool kids' schoolyard games. All right, everyone. Should we shut the big guy off? All right, you cut me off. All right, good. Thank you, Nameless. Thank you, Paisan. Nameless saying he might have to prepare for dinner soon. Ooh, yeah, I am over 2 hours already. I don't mind. We'll go a little long. Iceman saying they should pay Gary as well. No need to pinch pennies. He's the type of get it from the dirt player that we should want as a Raptors player. I agree with this. It's always, I mean, I like the kind of thinking of like kind of getting Javon Freeman Liberty up as they were saying, but in some ways, I don't want to be at a detriment to Gary. In some ways, I really like rewarding loyalty, and Gary has showed a loyalty this summer, the opposite of what Fred showed. And that's what I'm saying. In some ways, Gary is a super loyal Raptor on the down low, and people aren't realizing that. He's very sought after. He could go a lot of different teams, but he wants to be here. He's very much made that very clear. And I think Iceman's right with bird rights and the salary cap and the luxury tax and stuff like that. There's no reason why we can't fit Gary in and keep him in the ensemble. There's no reason. Tristan Phipps is saying, "Yo, I missed most of it." He's crying and laughing. But what if letting Fred go was good for the culture? Yeah. Addition by subtraction. Maybe it built the team. They can know that guys can finish out their contract without getting traded. Yeah, that's also another thing, I guess. I mean, I don't know if they're going to worry about that or think that just from Fred's situation. They're not going to trust that totally themselves. I mean, in some ways, that's part of the problem right now. Is that Siakam is not totally trusting us not to move him all of a sudden because he's hearing all the noise and he doesn't want to get traded. And in some ways, it's like he's hiding in Austria so that he's not close to us. And if it does happen, then he can be all pissed off in another country far away. I don't think he has any intention to want to be traded by us, but he understands that in some ways, Masai and Bobby have leverage and they're being pressured to trade him and they're listening to offers. And in some ways, it does make sense to trade Pascal, but in a lot of ways, it doesn't. So we'll have to see. I don't know. I think that it's true what you're saying, Tristan. Letting Fred go was going to have some good pluses that people aren't realizing right now. Yeah. G saying Germany was up 20. Canada was within 3 and was really I was really watching how Dennis handled that. He did not panic once. He was even keeled and continued controlling the game. That was my biggest takeaway. Yeah. He honestly, that's what the headline's saying. Dennis Schroeder leads Germany's team to win. Yeah. Some people are trying to say Franz was the star of the game. That's bullshit. Dennis Schroeder was the star of that game for Germany, and he was feeding Franz to make Franz look good. Yeah. G's also saying Canada then came within 3 and even tied. Yeah, we were there. We could have won this game with better execution at the end of the game. And if he had played his best players at the end of the game, Jordi Fernandez would have won the game. SGA and RJ would have found a way to win that game if they had had the opportunity to be in the game at the end of the game, but they weren't. They weren't in the game. They were on the bench. So they let the scrubs try and have a chance. Well, it's weird because one of the scrubs kind of looks like Jordi Fernandez a little bit, the smaller one. And I'm like, Jordi, it looks like Jordi's a player coach on the court because he has the same kind of hairstyle, no hair. And they're kind of like a similar kind of looking guy. I was like, oh, Jordi's the player coach now. It's like, no, that's one of the scrubs. That's one of the scrubs out there. All right, I'm at the end of the chat. Let me go over anything that I might have missed talking about today. We talked about rock, paper, scissors. We talked about this Germany game yesterday. Team Canada looks good, y'all. Even if they weren't sharp, they made a lot of mistakes. Oh, here's something for y'all to check out. Warren Weisfeld has a new interview, an article with Grady Dick that he did. It's on Complex Canada. Let me just get the link, and I'll put it in the chat right now. Y'all need to go read this because it's very in-depth, and Grady answers a lot of important questions to Oren, and it's fantastic. Honestly, this is a great article, great interview by Oren Weisfeld with Grady Dick. Opens a lot of eyes. Like, what was one of the weird things that Grady said in it that I did not know that was really, really crazy to me? Let me find. I'll just pick one little tidbit out of here that I did not realize about Grady. Well, first of all, one of the things he's saying in it is that the money isn't the most important thing to him in his NBA career. It is basketball. And he tries to keep things very, very simple. that basketball forefront and first. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep things simple. And he talked with Orrin about his other time in other sports like baseball. He played shortstop in baseball, and how him and his father Bart talk a lot about how he can take skills from other sports he plays and apply them to things he does on the basketball court. So he's looking at like lateral movements and moving side to side as something he learned from playing shortstop in baseball that is helpful to Grady on the basketball court. And so there's a couple of different things he said in this interview that is really cool. And there's a couple of things that I didn't realize about him. He's been a big Drake fan for a long time, and he was very blown away about being in Drake's periphery now and Drake following him. He is very much very blown away by this. There's a couple of other things he said that I really like that Grady said. This kid's going to be very important and good for our team. One of the things I know about Grady, and this is something we're going to be calling him when he starts playing, and he hasn't even played for the Raptors yet. He's going to be very scrappy. One of the things is like he's going to be this one of these guys. This is all over the place, diving and just going after everything, just pure energy on the court. In some ways, like Yuta, he will be similar to Yuta as far as like he's just everywhere and giving maximum effort all the time. This is something that's going to be a signature of Grady Dick that we're going to realize, and it's part of the reason why we're going to fall in love with him. Is that he's going to go the extra mile and output so much energy on the court. He's going to be diving for loose balls. He's going to be running at the basket to try and grab rebounds real quick. It's just, I saw signs of it in Summer League. And the more I think about it, scrappy is going to be one of the best words to describe Grady Dick. It's very important to him in this interview with Orrin Weisfeld that he gets across that he's not just a shooter, that there's a lot of different things to his game. And scrappy is going to be one of those things. Watch. Monique's saying, W stream, Lex, keep at it. Let's go Raptors. Go Canada, too. That's right, Monique. You go to superfan Monique Lawrence. We love you. Iceman's saying Freeman Liberty can still be developed into a very nice bench piece for the future while keeping Gary Trent Jr. It's all about restocking the bench mob. There you go. I like that optimism, and that sounds good to me. Let's keep them both. Why not? We don't have to go without one or the other. Let's just develop Freeman Liberty and give him a spot on the roster at some point. And Shaq Lindsay saying you can't trade Pascal because Scotty is a player that needs the ball in his hands, but he's not a number one option. Look how it's working out for Damian Lillard, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell. Yes, Shaq Lindsay, you just showed up in the last couple of days, and you've been very strong with your comments and your points. And I agree. You know, they help each other in a lot of different ways. And it's like part of the reason why people want to tear them apart is they're trying to say, oh, they don't fit together, but that's not true. They really, really do fit pretty well together. And, they love playing with each other. There's no problems between Pascal and Scotty. Scotty has a lot of respect for Siakam and what he's accomplished and what he's able to do on the court because he knows some of it he can't do yet himself. He may be able to do it some way down the road. But in some ways, Scotty has to respect that Siakam is a better player than him right now. And I'm sure he does. He really does respect that because he's on his team and he likes playing with them. All right, let's see. As I said, all right, go check out Dennis Schroeder's latest drop. He's playing mini golf. And then there's a new Rico Hines runs clip out there also. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me today on the Raptors Freak channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you want to, join. It's not necessary, but it is a fun new way to get more content from the Raptor Freak channel. We're going to have special quick reactions after games where I won't interact with you guys, but I'll do like a quick little minute or two after games. I did one yesterday that's for members only. So there will be a little bit of little members only content that may be quick reactions after games this season. But the long stuff like this one today will always be this way. And a lot of the stuff I'll say in the little quick reaction will be reiterated again in the morning. As I did this morning. So there are a few perks for being a member. And the other one is you get to add me on Facebook and become a part of our Facebook chat, which is daily keeping up to date on all the stuff that's going on in the NBA. We're talking about it during the day, not just during the stream right now. In the afternoon, we'll be talking about different moves and things going on also. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow for a Friday freak out. I'm not totally sure what we'll talk about tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. All right. Thanks again, Tristan. Peace out to you. Thank you, Isaac Campbell. And thank you, Shaq Lindsay, Iceman, Monique, everybody, Nameless, David, Fiercey, Cool Cat, Leslie, everybody who comes in, Dana. We love you all. Thank you for joining as members also recently. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Team Canada. Let's beat New Zealand. Yeah, let's beat those Hobbits.